Unfiltered. And like you said, we're just going through it. Nobody asked, has any specific player come to you and said, I don't feel up to playing or whatever. That wasn't asked.
At least in the portion that we heard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, from everything we can gather, the game's on Sunday at 1.
Yeah, and there's, in addition to the updates on Hamlin that Mike just read, there was I think Mike Giardi, I'm not sure if he was the first one to report it, but I guess Hamlin's dad addressed the team in a Zoom call, which to me is probably the best indication to allow the team to start the process of moving forward.
And I hear a lot of the guys up in Buffalo said we needed to hear that. Yeah.
I think Kyer Elam had some comments to that effect, Freddie. So I think Fred's right. I think, it's a tough situation. I thought Bill expressed it very well several times. Everybody's doing the best they can to move on, and not to forget about it, not being callous.
Right.
Just, there's a game to play, and you get back to your job. Yep. It's the same for everybody.
Right.
Yeah. This was the kind of the news you were hoping. I mean, of course, you would want him to completely recover, but just the positive developments that you're hearing. That,
I really think they're on the road to that. I mean, hopefully I'm not just being too overly optimistic, but I think he's on the way to recovery. I do.
Yeah, I mean, I think the big worry, I mean, in my uninformed medical opinion, was just how long was he out for? Is he going to have brain damage from lack of oxygen to the brain? But it sounds like, he's mentally intact, I guess, as they said, and squeezing fingers a little bit and eyes open. So great news. Just hopefully this is, team can kind of maybe build on what they did yesterday. I know the Bills had a walkthrough. I think they're having a full practice today. The Patriots are going to practice again here in a little bit. Evan will be in after that. So, yeah, we'll see. Hopefully we can have a game. I don't know how I'm going to feel going into the game. Of like, let's get them, guys.
I know. The messages here are different than there.
Yeah.
Up in Buffalo, to me, it's very clear. I'm Sean McDermott. I'm saying the best way we can pay tribute to DeMar and the best way we can help him is to go out there and fight like hell in his name. Mm-hmm. He's going to come to, and we're going to have won a game. He's going to have $10 million in his charity, all for him. Mm-hmm. And that's the best thing we can do. He's in good hands medically. There's nothing we can do there, right?
Yep.
There's nothing we can do there for him. Let them do that. Let us do our part. And our part is, doing our job in his name. And, I mean, that's going to be tough to overcome for the Patriots, because, our message is different. Like, ours is, hey, he's our brother. It's just kind of the same thing. There's nothing we can do for him. He's in good hands, but we've got a job to do. Let's do it. Yeah. They're not doing it for him. They're doing it for each other here. So it's a little bit different message, but the theme is the same, is you have a job to do. You're a professional. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I talked about it yesterday. A little weird, just having this last game. That the Patriots desperately need to win, and I just wonder where the Bills are going to be at. Are they going to be at the point where let's win one for DeMar? Because I think that they will get there, especially by the next week in the playoffs. I just don't know if they're mentally able to get to that point. Maybe they can say it, but are they going to play like that, or are they still going to play kind of like?
I think they will. Yeah. And like you talk about resting players. They're not going to rest anybody in this game. How do you play for DeMar and then, oh, Josh, you're not playing, and
you're
Stephon,
not playing for
you're
DeMar.
not playing.
You're not playing for DeMar.
But all you other guys play for DeMar.
You got to go play for
DeMar. That doesn't make sense to me.
No, they weren't going to rest anybody.
Yeah.
The game before this incident, the game meant a lot to Buffalo.
Yeah.
But what's the latest on
that's the
Bills
other thing.
Bengals? What is going on with that?
The determination of the result of the Bengals-Bills game does have, ramifications on how much this game actually does mean. And so far, we don't know, what they're going to do with that game.
Right.
Right.
And there's three, all three of those teams are, greatly impacted by that Bills
And you
Bengals
talk about
game.
Kansas City, the Bills, and the Bengals.
Yeah, because they all can get the number 1 seed, the number 2 seed, or the number 3 seed, depending on what happens. Both in Week 18 and whatever happens with that game.
Yeah. So, to me, the simplest and most elegant solution, as long as the Bengals and Bills both agree, is that game was a tie, and you're going to live with the results after Week 18, no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's it. And the game won't be played. You know, but I've heard all these other.
I like your fallback if they don't play the game.
Well, I forget what my fallback was.
No, yours.
Oh,
you just said
that one. Yeah.
I think the simplest thing is to play the game.
Yeah, I don't think that's that simple, actually.
Yeah, I just think you just push everything back a week. I mean,
no, but I mean, like, where's it going to be played? What fans get to go?
Cincinnati. It goes to Cincinnati next week. It's like week 19.
And the fans that had tickets just go to this game?
Sure.
Yeah, I guess you could do that.
Now, if they don't do it, I understand. Like, it's a little bit of a different situation because it's the end of the season.
So we have a week in which there's one game.
Yeah. Now, a lot of people have suggested have that one game along with the NFC playoffs, which I really don't understand. But that's I've heard a lot of scenarios. I've heard a lot of suggestions, and I don't really. Normally, I would say a lot of fakakta suggestions.
Yeah.
I don't say that this time because I don't really think there's anything that's right or wrong.
Yeah, we're just doing the best we can.
Everybody's coming up and trying to spitball with a different idea.
Yeah.
So I could understand you want to have 3 NFC playoff games along with a game that has playoff implications. And you make something out of next week. I don't really know what the benefit of having the AFC and NFC playoffs then staggered.
Right, then the AFC not going to get a week off.
So
probably.
the AFC doesn't get a week off for the Super Bowl. I'm not sure that's perfect, but there is no perfect solution.
No,
so
I think you just.
I don't make fun of it. I mean, everybody has an opinion as to what to do.
I like that they're at least slow playing it to see kind of maybe where things are after Sunday night, and then just like do the least possible, like upset the apple cart.
Sometimes these things work themselves out.
That's
How many
right.
times do you say, "Oh, we got too many running backs," and what happens, Fred?
Yeah,
Right.
You know, someone gets
Right,
hurt,
and you end up
someone's
using them all.
unavailable, and all of a sudden you have a perfect amount.
Right, so like Monday morning, you might wake up and you say, "This game is really just going to determine the 2 or the 3 seed," and okay, let's figure out where it will be played if they meet in the playoffs.
Right. If Kansas City were to lose, I mean, I suppose that it kind of throws a monkey wrench into it because now Cincinnati and Buffalo can get the number 1 seed.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Like, to me, you almost have to play the game. Unless, like Fred's thing comes to fruition and Cincinnati and Buffalo say, we'll forfeit the number 1 seed. We don't want to play the game. We'll forfeit the number 1 seed. If they want to do that, no one's going to argue with their wishes. Right. And I think isn't that, everybody's saying, like, we'll do whatever. I think Joe Burrow had a great quote.
You're right.
We'll do whatever Buffalo wants.
Yeah.
And I'm paraphrasing, but just another reason why I love that guy. I mean, I thought that spoke like a perfect tone.
Mm-hmm. You wonder if his owner's like, well, wait a minute.
No, because
not so fast, Joe.
People aren't really considering Cincinnati has a lot to lose here too, because they win 2 games, and they can be the number 1 seed.
Right.
Just
and they're hot. I mean, they were hot coming into this game before everything happened.
Right.
I mean, they are.
Now they would need Kansas City to lose.
To the Raiders.
To the Raiders. But I don't think that's impossible.
It's not out of the question.
I don't think that they'll lose it, but Kansas City has not played great football for a month.
Now that the Raiders have a quarterback.
Yeah,
right. Well, yeah.
Jared Stidham.
Yeah.
Studham.
I mean, stop that.
Yeah.
Evan will yell at you.
So a lot still to be determined, but as Deuce said, the big headline is Damar Hamlin is showing responsiveness. He's getting better.
Yeah.
Long way to go. Long way to go. He's still in critical condition, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would assume.
Long way to go, but
between that,
it's positive.
Yeah,
it's moving in the right direction.
I think you just needed to hear something to be able to mentally tell yourself he's going to be okay. We need to move on and really focus on what this team wants to do because for the Bills, what better way to honor Damar than to go out and win the Super Bowl,
kick ass.
And just play, use that, and I hate like trying to make a person's health into like, a motivational thing. Like, it's just, it's
But
hard
why
to
not?
put it like that. But
Do
you
it
got to
for
make the
them.
best out of
Why
the
not?
situation.
I mean, I know that's going to be the mentality. That's going to be the mindset. It's hard. Like it could go either way. You could sit there and say, they had all the right intentions. They had everything in mind. They just couldn't do it. They couldn't muster it up.
But just put yourself in their shoes. What if it was a Patriot? I mean, we would all be like, do it for.
Yeah.
No, I know we would.
Yeah.
But
It's just hard to get to that point.
there's a lot of examples of teams using that as motivation and it working, and they go on and win a title. There's a lot of examples where it goes the other way too.
Oh, absolutely.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like if I were, obviously, take the human side out of this.
If it worked every time,
would say.
If it worked every time, these owners would. God. I mean,
Stop.
Stop. Right?
Stop.
Be our sacrificial
You're the only
lamb
one
this
who
year.
roots for injuries. Stop. So take the human. I mean, it's impossible, but take the human side of this of it. Obviously, there's nobody on the planet that is glad that this happened, right? But do you think Buffalo would rather go into this game just normal or trying to play for a fallen teammate?
Of course, just normal.
Yeah, again, but not because. It's obvious about we don't want a guy hurt,
Right.
But I'd rather not the motivation that a guy's hurt. We're trying to rally for him.
Of course not.
I'd rather just go into this game because I think I'm a better team.
Yeah.
I don't have anything to worry about. I don't have to worry about, are we all in this? Do we get enough preparation time? Are we mentally prepared for this? Emotionally, are we ready to go? I would rather not worry about those things if I were Buffalo.
Yeah, specific to Buffalo, though, I would be a little concerned if I was the Buffalo team about Josh Allen trying to be the Superman.
I'd be a lot concerned.
Like he does every week?
I mean,
I'd be a lot concerned about it.
He already does. He already does that to an extent, and he's amazing at it, and he's often unstoppable. But there's just a level of being too pumped up, pushing too hard, trying to do too much yourself to prove that you're playing for this guy. Like he's just one guy that I think you really would just need to play within yourself. Don't go.
God forbid somebody gets hurt in this game, and I don't mean like DeMar did, but like. Just anything,
right? Josh
Allen
blows
the moment somebody's
his knee
down, and like anything, like everybody's gonna hold their breath every time, somebody goes down. It's.
Well, I mean, I said. I mean, I don't know if I said on the air yesterday, but I mean, it's just I have these feelings a lot. Like, I mean, it certainly was scary with DeMar Hamlin. The example I brought up was in 2012 when Stephen Ridley got laid out by what's his face who ruined Brady's knee too. Bernard Pollard. I mean, just a crazy hit. He's fencing, that after a concussion. I mean, it's just these things happen, and even though that the DeMar Hamlin was unique and very scary and all that, it's I still feel the same way when guys get hurt like that. Whether it's a knee injury, a concussion, all these things are tough to deal with on some level.
I agree with you, Deuce, and I think Bill in his opening comments today referenced going back to I think he said 97,
the Jets,
and I think it was Reggie Brown. And that's what it brought him back to. And that was a similar kind of injury. Not this injury, not CPR performed on the field, but these are what happened. These are the thoughts that come to mind, for especially a guy like Bill that's been around for so long. Unfortunately, he's seen a lot of these kinds of things. This might be the worst of all of those things, but unfortunately, it's not the only one.
Yeah. Dennis Byrd, all these guys,
I mean, even go back, Freddie. Do you remember, for the Patriots when John Stevens ran over? I think it was Jeff Fuller.
Right, and
John Stevens was never the same.
Never the same.
And John Stevens was the T. Higgins of the hit.
What happened to him?
John Stevens was, a big running back.
For sure.
He
lowered his head. There was helmet-to-helmet contact, and the Niners safety went down
and didn't come back up. And John
Stevens was
even
never
though
the same.
nothing happened to him physically, emotionally, he was never the same. He was never the same running back after that. Yeah.
I remember him.
Yeah.
He was one of when I was growing up. He was.
And his daughter is a professional tennis player now.
Yeah,
really? Sloane Stevens.
Oh. Yeah, although estranged, I think.
Yeah, well, is John? I'm not sure John is
still with us.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that would be really estranged. That's extreme estranged.
So we're on video today.
Yeah. 855-PATS-500 is the Ace Ticket hotline. Webradio@patriots.com is the email address. So like we said, Bill had his press conference today. There'll be open locker room access later today.
Yeah, they're doing like a 220, I think, Mac, and and one of the guys is going.
2009, he passed away.
McCourty. Okay.
Was that long ago?
Yeah, I wanted to make sure because that's not one of those that I do the Paul like off the top of my head thing.
Yeah.
Should probably be definitive on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so a couple different. I mean, they're doing Mac and I think McCourty at 220, and then at 345 they got another group of guys coming in. That'll be when actual open locker room is. So it seems like they're just rolling everybody out. Try to do what Bill did today. Have this whole press conference that you need to have, of course.
Do the best you can.
And then by tomorrow, maybe there's actually we're gonna play this game and we're locked in and we're ready to go.
Yep. So we haven't got a schedule yet, for travel or anything. They haven't sent that out. Usually by now we do have.
I was going to ask you, do you usually get it by Thursday?
Yeah. So I'm sure they were waiting to see what's going on with Buffalo. So to me, the indication that everything is 100% is when I get that.
Yeah.
And I haven't gotten it yet. So.
I would think by tomorrow morning. I mean, if the Bills were able to do practice today and get through tonight, and hopefully maybe he has some more good signs overnight, and tomorrow maybe it's just that definitive. I think everybody's kind of still has that doubt a little bit.
Has McDermott have the Bills had?
No, they're going later this afternoon.
Okay, all right. So we haven't really heard from Buffalo yet.
No, I think McDermott is 4:30. I saw someone write on Twitter. I don't know. I mean, that's Twitter, so that's just something I don't know if it's accurate. That is Mike Giardi.
Yeah, up in Buffalo.
In Buffalo, he's on the scene.
Yeah, well, that's a tough gig.
Yeah.
You're
in all
always
seriousness.
in a different place,
and everybody wants to find out the information. And your job is to get the information while not being intrusive.
Right.
Like for something like this.
Yeah.
And it's very important to not be wrong.
Yep. You can't make stuff up off the top of your head. You're not there to guess and speculate. You shouldn't be anyway. Some of these guys do, but
not Mike Giardi.
Yeah. No, not our boy Mike.
No, best smelling guy in the NFL.
Absolutely. Yep. He's wonderful.
What was that scent called?
Summer. It's ode to training camp.
Ode to GR. It's GR.
Somewhere Megan O'Brien's ears are perking up.
Yeah. 855-PATS-500 is the Ace Ticket Hotline, web radio, Patriots.com. We got picks today. Evan will be by later.
Post-practice.
Good week for picks for you guys.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
For you guys?
Yeah.
Not you?
I was fine, but I mean that.
The book was right?
I actually
the book looked flawless.
I had a bad week of.
You were off your schedule.
Spread, yeah. It is.
You really didn't.
I'll go with that, Freddie.
Yeah.
But yeah, we all did well overall.
Good.
Nice.
We should be. It's December.
Yeah.
January, actually. You know what I mean?
Got to feel for
this
the
is when
now.
sharps are sharper.
I hope so.
It's after Thanksgiving.
I'm just glad I had a bounce back here. I was terrible last year. Do you still keep last year's? I'd love to know how bad I was. I wonder who was worse, me last year or Fred this year.
I don't. I used to do it in a notebook.
Probably smart.
And the notebook, I have like a lot of my notebooks in the pad. I would just go back and
you should
look,
take all the notebook and
anymore.
compile them into a big leather-bound book.
Yeah.
That is, the book of picks.
Yeah.
And then we keep it like in, Harry Potter, like in some library somewhere.
Dusty.
You really had to geek it up, didn't you?
Yeah.
Good job.
He threw it out though, so I don't think we're.
The book of picks. In 2000,
I could probably tell you what happened in like 2018.
I know,
right.
He came in third.
All right. I guess we'll go right to the
talk.
listeners because
Sure.
Yeah.
Or we can talk some some actual game. I feel.
All right.
I
So
feel okay
yeah,
with
let's-
the game.
Like you want to go to the calls and get a couple of thoughts because
Okay.
I think we could also
I think it's time to talk about the matchup.
Yeah.
moving to the matchup. Mike put out the roundtable questions. We could sort of bat
Which I
those
haven't
around.
answered yet.
Okay.
I
I'll
haven't
remind
even
you.
seen the
I'll
questions.
remind you.
We can bat them around a little bit
I was
if
playing.
you'd like.
Let's go to Spee in Fresno. What's up, Spee?
I was looking to geek it up rather than do something relevant about the game. Sorry.
No, you.
But-
No, you can geek it up.
You can geek it up.
You can geek it up with the best of them.
The
Spee.
floor is yours.
It's very true. Hey, Mike, I know what you were trying to do yesterday with your touchdown stat.
Yeah.
I get where you got your 12.25 per game.
Yeah. Touchdown.
But it ends up, the emailer was right. It's really misleading because you completely ignore the field goals, which they should count as part of the offensive production, which is what
Some of them.
what Fred was asking.
Yeah, some of them should.
Okay, well, I understand. I
Right.
understand what you're saying, and my geekness is going to get us there. But basically, the Patriots, if you include the field goals, the emailer's right. They score 18 points per game, like 17.94 beat Bob Bork. But But when I have no life, and I went through every single scoring play yesterday and tried to fish out which ones should probably instead be attributed to the defense, not just defensive scores, but offensive scores that we understand. You know, Brendan Schooler sets you up at the opponent's 10-yard line, or Jonathan Jones' interception puts you at like 17, 4 players later, you know, you get a touchdown. I think that those are defensive scores that masquerade as offensive scores. And so some of this is subjective, but when...
Yeah, but everybody's counting those, so you can't take them out of ours, and every other team in the NFL counts them. So you have to do what everybody else does.
I'm not doing a relative Patriots to others. I'm trying to understand.
Okay, all right.
If you just look at the Patriots themselves, I think that the offensive production overall ends up dropping down to about 12.75 points. Like
that's what
Deuce
said.
What it is.
Well, that was the number I had.
We're back to where Deuce was.
No.
But he came to it a different way.
No, the number.
Sorry,
12.25
was what I.
12.25, and what you guys were saying was, but imagine how much lower it is than that when you take out special teams.
No, we weren't.
No, that Deuce had taken
Deuce
that.
took all the defensive touchdowns out. He has. I can see his highlights right now. He can show you on the.
He took all of the ones that were counted as defensive touchdowns out when he described
right.
the ones that are important.
Right, and his number was lower than yours.
12.2.
And his number is incorrect because he didn't take field goals into account.
Okay, so yours is 12.7. So we got half a point more.
That's 12 points. No, it's 18 when you actually count overall offensive production. It's 12.75 when you actually just take out the sort of masked defensive and special team scores.
Right. So we ended up with the same spot.
No, he's saying if you add back
I know what he's saying. It's not hard. It's not brain surgery. I understand what he's saying. But it came out the same thing that Mike did without going through all that painstaking process.
But to me, it doesn't matter if we're
correct because we don't have anything to compare it to.
Right. If we're at 18,
and that's the question that you were looking for.
Right.
It's not the same. But
I hear what you're saying, Speed. Don't worry.
You're getting into it. There have only been 3 pick threes. Actually, 4.
4 pick threes.
Well, there was a scoop and score. That's kind of the same thing.
Pick threes, he said.
Oh, pick three.
Yeah.
There have been 3.
I would argue I think there was more than 3 pick threes in the Detroit game alone. But whatever.
In the Detroit game, there was 1, and that was the Jonathan Jones interception. The offense drove it for 89 yards, so that's like the least egregious of the pick threes.
Once. They had 1 touchdown in that game.
Okay.
Well,
what?
I'm glad I went to the call. Speed. Thanks for the call.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
that was good.
Yeah.
I apologize for giving everyone the headache yesterday.
I just think okay, without even going, we just know from the eye test that true offensive touchdowns have been at a premium this year.
And what I was trying to get at, Fred's question was something very specific that we don't have because there's no one that's going through every team's drives to determine what we Speed did it for the Patriots. Speed did a lot of detailed research there and figured out that, and I know the play he's talking about, the ball bounces off of Gunnar Olszewski's face mask and you take over at the 10-yard line. I have a hard time calling that an offensive touchdown. Everybody else who tabulates that is calling it an offensive touchdown.
And that's fair. So if they are, then let's do it and let's see where we land.
But they're not talking about all the other teams. They're not doing that at all. We're doing it for the Patriots.
I know.
But my point is, I thought there was a stat, and there isn't, where the DVOA takes the points. They do the yards. I got all kinds of tweets about this yesterday. I'm sure you did too.
I apologize.
I know what the numbers that you were giving yesterday represent. People are trying to explain it to me. Because I'm a dinosaur, I don't understand things.
Touchdown scored.
I thought that there was a mechanism with all of these analytics
they factor in
that factored in such things, and evidently there isn't.
Yeah.
It's left to your interpretation. And like I said, Fred might look at a touchdown and say, well, that's an offensive score. And you might look at it, Mike, and say, well, really, they went 7 yards. It's not really an offensive score.
Right, but at the same time, I don't want to penalize my offense because my defense is really good.
Exactly.
So
But I think reasonable minds can agree when you recover a fumble off a face mask of a punt returner at the 10-yard line and you score, that's really not much of an accomplishment. You can count it if you want.
Well, when you're in, we are in the red zone, it is.
Yeah, I think the bigger problem in the red zone is the lack of the visits to said red zone than it is how many times you score when you're there.
Yep. Okay.
Like, that's the problem.
Let's go to Eddie in L.A. What's up, Eddie?
Hey, what's up, guys? So I was listening yesterday's podcast this morning.
Yep.
And I love that you guys talked about the future of the team, so I just wanted to say some things as well.
Okay.
I think that if Bill doesn't go out and spend the money on a wide receiver one, then the rebuild for the offense isn't going to come as quick as we all hope it will, especially since next season the only receiver coming back is Thornton, most likely at least. Also because I think if there's a good-looking tackle in the draft, I mean, wherever we fall in the draft, I think we should just go for that tackle instead of flipping the coin on a wide receiver, you know? I don't want another N'Keal Harry scenario.
Yeah. Well, you know.
But even if.
Go ahead.
Even if there's no tackle out there, like if there's a defensive stud that lands on us, like I think we should just go on that defensive stud also instead of a wide receiver.
I would say if there's a stud that's available to us, just get him. I don't care where.
Yeah.
You know, just get the stud. But, you know, I hear what you're saying about tackle. The thing is, if you're going to get a stud tackle, they're usually up top too. Yeah. You know, within the top 20. So
there's a few of them this year. I mean, I'm starting to dip my toe in.
You can get a Sebastian Vollmer in the second round, and he turns out to be a good tackle.
Yeah.
You know, but the blue chippers are they're going to be going high too. You know.
Yeah.
So, Eddie, I appreciate it. You know, so basically,
I like the future stuff. Yeah.
He's saying this offensive rebuild is going to be longer than we think it's going to be because we're kind of starting over at wide receiver next year.
A little bit. I mean, I think that goes to the philosophy of how do you want to get that receiver. I mean, he wants to go trade for one. I'm sure there's arguments to be made to draft one of these guys this year. I know yesterday Evan was talking a little bit about there's not a great top of the draft for the receivers. But I mean, I agree with the general point. And I mean, I wouldn't just say receiver. Like, I think you need, like if you could find a tight end that's a game changer. You know what I mean? Like if you could find. I think the Patriots, they had Gronk and Edelman, and that wasn't kind of the usual setup you have where the best guy is this big stud outside wide receiver. I mean, I think you just need star players. You need guys who can deliver in these big moments, and I think that's the bigger point of just what they don't really have right now. Of the tight ends are okay, the receivers are okay, the running backs, you have some positivity. You'd love to see what they look like with an actual passing attack, and some better, more consistent blocking up front. But I agree with the overall points. They need some big pieces.
So by the way,
I finally found something real quick on the red zone.
Okay.
There's one team in football who's been to the red zone less than the Patriots this year. You know who it is?
Cleveland.
Denver.
Ooh, yeah.
It's the only offense that's actually been to the red zone
makes sense.
fewer times than the Patriots. Yeah. So a lot of stat-based people will tell you, the percentage itself for the Patriots, it's a small sample size.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
The bigger problem is they don't get there. 2.6 red zone possessions per game. It's tied for 29th with Washington and Tennessee.
They don't stack offensive plays together.
Right. Now, Tennessee is a dynamite red zone team. But they don't get there. That's why they don't score.
Right. While we were talking, Florio from Pro Football Talk came out with a report that he's hearing that the league is going to call the Cincinnati Bills game a no contest.
Which is the same as your thing with the tie.
Well, is it?
Yes.
Is calling it a no contest different than calling it a tie?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's the same thing.
It's the same?
It's good. Well,
but I think a tie would have the stats recorded, and wouldn't you can't just say it's a tie, right? Or it would just be 0-0.
So I guess no contest is saying that anything can happen in the game doesn't.
Maybe.
So all the stats go away.
Well, the stats are irrelevant. They played 10 minutes.
No, I know, but somebody had a touchdown. That could be the touchdown he needs to have an incentive earned.
Oh, well, I mean, the team owner should be excommunicated from the league if on a technicality you didn't give a guy an incentive.
Is there a difference between calling it a no contest and a tie?
I'm just talking about the standings. I'm not talking about the numbers. Someone's fantasy league, I'm sure was really upset by that. I'm serious, and that's I'm not making light of it. It's a lot of money for the people involved, the betting and the fantasy and the gambling and all that. I get it. It's a big business, but in terms of the standings, if you're giving them ties, then they stay tied. If you're giving it no contest, that means the game didn't happen. They're still tied. It doesn't change the standings.
Right.
And they're going to end up both being still behind Kansas City with a tie or a no contest if Kansas City wins.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Because Kansas City is going to go 14-3, and Buffalo, if they beat the Patriots, is going to be 13-3.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Cincinnati will be 12-4. So a tie, if you're 12-4-1 or 13-3-1, you're still behind 14-3 Kansas City. That's all I'm saying. It doesn't matter if you call it a tie or a no contest.
Dan, I'm seeing Schefter too. I saw speculating conference championships might be neutral site. That's kind of interesting.
Yeah, I've heard. Can we get back to the Fakakta things?
Sure.
Yeah.
That's one thing I've heard thrown out there is like, okay, so Buffalo, if Buffalo's the 2 and Cincinnati's the 3, so Kansas City is kind of gifted the 1 seed. So maybe as a gesture,
a tribute.
Yeah, you say, okay, well, you're the 1, you get the bye, but when we get to the AFC Championship, they shouldn't have to travel to Kansas City.
Yeah.
They'll play somewhere else.
Gillette Stadium.
I don't know if I like that, but again, I'm not here to shoot down any ideas in such an unprecedented time. I think people are really trying to come up with different scenarios that might be, interesting.
Do you think they decide anything before the games go off Sunday? Do you think anything is decided with this game before these games are played or not played on Sunday?
I don't know, but I don't think so. I think the problem is no matter what happens on Sunday, it can't get resolved.
Yeah. It's just a question of what's your real problem
because
now.
if Kansas City does lose, well, Cincinnati and Buffalo still have the same chance to get the number 1 seed.
Yeah.
Now, if Kansas City and Cincinnati lose and Buffalo wins, then that's different. Now you're just talking about the 2 and 3 seed. Cincinnati could get the 2 seed over Kansas City.
Yeah, that's why it's like it almost feels more fair to decide now before you know who has the problem. Who's gets screwed in this situation, like based on the results. Is it Kansas City that they are getting it gifted that they get, or is it Buffalo not getting even a chance to play for it when they could have? It's just I feel like if they do it after the games, then it's going to feel like it might favor certain teams, but it's complicated. There's no easy answer. It's amazing that this is I would have thought for sure something like this would have happened during all that COVID stuff, and somehow you made it through COVID without ever having to get this crazy where you're just we don't know what the answer is. It was always we'll just play Tuesday and then, but we never got to the playoffs and then something happened that threw everything off.
855-PATS-500. Let's go to Travis in North Carolina. Hey, Travis.
Hey, hello.
Hey.
So I got a question, and I'm not trying to come off as insensitive to Damar Hamlin or the Bills, but they're going to play the game, and the Patriots need to win to make the playoffs.
Yep.
So if you're Bill and you win the toss, do you go on offense first to try to get a cheat touchdown, I guess you could say, considering it's the first time the Bills been on the field?
I missed that.
So if you win the toss, do you go on offense first because maybe they're a little not ready
skittish
to go right off out of the gate and try to take advantage of that?
You
could do it the other way.
I would go the
other way.
Yeah, I would go the other way in that regard.
Let's get a 3 and out from Josh Allen.
Maybe they're not ready. And to your point, I think both of you guys brought up, does Josh Allen try to be even more Superman?
And he gives you one.
He gives you one early because he's not quite ready to go.
Yeah. So,
but Travis, you don't have to have the preamble of I'm not trying to be. You're talking about the game and you're talking about strategy, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
I mean, it's a different.
Thanks for the call.
Different
Trevor.
look.
Yep.
No, I wonder if are you going to learn anything about the Patriots in this game? Are you going to learn anything about the Bills? It feels like you already know what's going to be said based on if the Patriots win this game or the Bills win this game. You know everything that's going to be why that happened. Know what I mean?
Yeah. Real quick, I knew I would screw this up if I kept talking about it. So you said, do they wait till week 18? And I think they do. And the one advantage that you could have, however remote, is if Kansas City and Cincinnati lose and Buffalo wins, it's neat.
Yeah.
It's Buffalo 1, Kansas City 2, Cincinnati 3. That's the way the records would be, regardless of what would happen in that Buffalo-Cincinnati game.
Right.
Because because Cincinnati is a game behind.
Yeah.
They would need to win and have Kansas City lose.
Right.
To tie Kansas City.
Right.
Oh.
And they have, because they have the tiebreakers.
And they're playing Cleveland. Who's Cincinnati playing?
Cincinnati's playing Baltimore.
Baltimore, that's right.
Yeah. Now, most likely, both of those teams are going to win their games.
Yeah.
Kansas City and Cincinnati. But listen, there's upsets everywhere.
Yep. Let's go to Daniel in the UK. What's up, Daniel?
Hiya. Just sort of circling back to the conversation from ages ago, Paul was complaining about not having stats that corrected for sort of, if you arrived on, say, the 5-yard line, what expected touchdown, you're most likely going to score it there.
Yep.
So there's a website, this isn't something I run, NFLindex.com, which I think is getting to the heart of what Paul's after, where you can sort of apply some filters. So if you type it in, you can sort of choose which team, what year, which weeks. And if you just go to the bottom, you can sort it by the offense. And so if you're given the ball on the 5-yard line, you normally score, let's say, 5 points there. And if you get given the ball on the 20, you normally score 4. So I think that sort of addresses what you're going for. And then you can sort of see this season the Patriots are the 26th offense, so we're still not very good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's just, I feel like this is becoming.
So that's NFL Index, Daniel?
NFLindex.com.
Okay.
It's
all right, thank you. We'll tell Evan about it. Thanks, Daniel.
I just feel like it's devolving into, like, how many different ways can you say the Patriots offense sucks? Like, how many different stats can you, like, book? I mean, like, it's just simple. It's like average drive, time of possession, 28th. Average plays per drive, 29th. Average yards per drive, 27th. Average point, 25th. I mean,
right, and that's why. Stink. Yeah, and again, I'm not making fun of Fred because Freddie wanted to sort of like get a specific point total.
Yeah.
Comparison with the other teams. I think the greater thing is what are they in points? Like counting everything.
Oh, just overall 26. Oh, sorry, 17th.
17th with 7 defensive touchdowns.
Yep.
You see that's higher than I thought it would be.
Oh no.
No.
They score on defense every week, Fred.
No, but so that includes defense.
Includes everything.
That's everything. That's everything.
That's what I'm saying. Like that tells you what the caller just explained.
Right.
Like they're in the 20s in every
low 20s.
Every offensive metric you could come up with.
Right.
Third down, yards, time of possession, points, drives, drive time. Like 3 and outs. Like anything you can come up with, they're like somewhere between 25 and 32.
Yep.
Except for turnovers, 12th, and points.
Right.
17.
And, the turnovers thing is, to me, I find it interesting.
Let's go to Willem and Phillum. What's up, William?
Hey, Fred. How you doing?
Good.
All right. My question's for Paul and whatnot. But how did I say this? All right, this is the off-season question, basically, so it has nothing to do as far as with the Bills game and the Patriots, whatever like that. So I just want you to just open your mind a little bit, Paul, with this one, okay? So
I'll try.
Okay, so we all know that Bill might not be highly on Mac Jones, right? And there's a little things going on with the Ravens, whatnot. I mean, before you blow me off, I already know what
Wait, I'm sorry, I'm not blowing you up. With who?
The Ravens?
The Ravens. Okay, so it's a Lamar question. Yep.
Right.
Okay.
So here's the question with it. So, all right, so you already got to see Josh Allen already, okay? And you already know he's a pain in your eye. You being Bill Belichick, right? And now I think Lamar might wind up with the Dolphins, though. But if something like that happened, would you want to run interference and get Lamar? That way you don't have to deal with Lamar and Josh Allen. Because you're not big on Mac. Yes, you diminish Mac, though, but maybe you're not sold on him. Maybe you don't like the whining and stuff he's doing. You might want to, you know what I mean?
The number one reason why you would get Lamar Jackson is because you think you can win a Super Bowl with him, not to run interference with another team. So you have to, that might be the side benefit of getting him, that another team in your division wanted him and you got him. But number one, you have to believe in him. You have to believe in him. You have to believe that getting this guy, I can redesign my offense and I can win a Super Bowl.
That's what you need.
And that's what Evan and I were talking about yesterday. Yeah. And I got a question about it in the mailbag this week. I don't think it's he is a priority. He's going to be the crown jewel of free agency, right?
Right.
I don't think it's ridiculous to suggest that your team is not sold on its quarterback and there's a very good quarterback who will be available, especially what happened the last 5 years. Maybe 10 years ago it would have been silly to discuss this. But now you're seeing high-profile quarterbacks change teams every year. Mm-hmm. Why not Lamar Jackson to the Patriots? It's not a silly thing. I don't think it will happen. My mind, however, is open to it,
Sure.
William. Absolutely. I love Lamar Jackson. I just think that you'd have to really do a lot to make that work.
That's my thing, but I also think that you're hitting a little bit of a point right now where you're probably going to need an OC. You're going to lose a bunch of wide receivers. So, I mean, I'm agree with you, but you at least have some opportunities.
Let's keep playing it out.
Yeah.
I like this. Bill O'Brien is supposed to be the new offensive coordinator, right?
Mm-hmm.
How much different is Lamar Jackson than Deshaun Watson in style?
Yeah, not much. Yeah.
He learned. I mean, Bill O'Brien learned to develop, and he was instrumental in developing Deshaun Watson.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I think Watson's a better passer than Jackson. You know, so maybe you could say, well, it was easier for Billy O'Brien to do it with him. But it's one of those things that, to me, and I haven't even really discussed what I think is the biggest obstacle is I'm not sure the Patriots are willing to give $250 guaranteed million
to anybody.
Yeah.
Right.
You know?
But okay, can I give you a little pushback on that? Okay,
yeah.
That's true, though, but at the same time, though, I mean, we have seen crazy things in the NFL. I mean, think about it. Like, we never thought we would get Randy Moss. You never thought you would get Brandon Cooks or Stephen Gilmore or Darrell Reeves. So, I mean, even seeing Devontae Adams run over to the Raiders and whatnot. So, I'll leave it a chance. But I was just thinking of Bill Belichick. You know, okay, he's 70 years old. Does he want to go through this with Mac? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what I was trying to say.
I know.
Yeah.
But all those guys you mentioned,
You know what I mean?
all those guys you mentioned, including Gilmore, it doesn't come close to what you're going to have to pay Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, I would say Gilmore's the only one that's comparable to this because Gilmore got top of the market, high-end, free agent corner money.
For a corner.
Out of nowhere. But I wouldn't have said that's never going to happen.
Yeah.
Now, was I surprised when I walked into work the day that they signed? Yes, because I hadn't heard anything about it.
Yes, I was.
But, I mean, Fred's right. You're talking, what, 2.5, 3 times?
Yeah, he's going to want.
Yeah, he wants to set the quarterback market. Yeah, I know. Jeez.
Yeah.
He wants Watson's contract. Deshaun Watson's contract in Cleveland is what he's looking for.
So nobody should get that, though. That's the problem.
He's worth it, though. He's MVP. I mean,
I know.
He's better than Deshaun Watson.
I don't know.
You don't think so?
I don't think so. I like Watson. I don't know if Watson will ever be the same.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, I know he looked good in the second half last week, but I don't know if he'll ever be the same.
Numbers because. What?
Oh.
What?
Oh.
You know what you did.
Oh, okay.
You know what you did, Kirsch. You know what you did.
Thanks, William. Let's go to Mark in Sacramento. What's up, Mark?
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Mark.
Okay, thanks for having me on.
Hi,
This is
Mark.
my first time calling.
Nice.
I just had a thought about the Cincinnati Bengals and the Buffalo Bills game and how to solve the problem. I just want to get your guys' thoughts on it.
Okay.
How about because it seemed like moving everything around and play a week 19 game. How about just a simple coin toss? And one coach and the other, whoever wins the coin toss gets the win, and the other team gets to lose, and you just move on to Sunday and everything is normal.
Yeah, I've heard that thrown out there too.
I mean, I think if it's a difference between 2 and 3, why not? I just
Thanks,
think then
Mark.
the conference championship game, you know, then that becomes a little bit of a. Or if those two teams were to meet, especially being 3 and 2, they
Who gets to play where?
Where do you play? That's the question, and you know, that's a big coin flip for a playoff game, especially two teams.
You televise that flip live, right?
Oh yeah, right.
Do you know they used to
The
do
decision,
those? They
the
used to
flip.
do those coin flips like on conference calls,
Really?
like back in the old
heads,
in the
no?
old and old
People,
days,
they just believe
like
them?
1970s,
Oh, yeah.
like NBA #1 overall pick.
and
It'd be like the owner of the Cavaliers in Cleveland and the owner of the Trailblazers in Portland. Oh, and I'm Larry O'Brien. I'm going to flip the coin now. Oh, and it's heads. Oh, okay. Imagine Al Davis being involved in one of those.
I call challenge.
Wow. But yeah, I've heard the coin flip thrown out there too. I mean,
Yeah.
is that more equitable than calling it a no contest? I don't know. But to me, it comes back to what Cincinnati and Buffalo want.
Yeah.
You know, what they're willing to agree to.
What's fair to them? Yeah.
I don't think this should be just a ruling from above from Roger Goodell. I think, and I don't think it will be. He has the power to do it, according to the CBA and all that stuff. But I think that he needs to have conversations with the two teams, and they need to reach an agreement as to what they think is most equitable.
What time did the Catch-22 show start this morning?
10:30.
Okay, so I don't want to take emails that were sent to them.
Yeah.
Carl writes in.
I don't want any part of that.
Well, one of them says this is the best football podcast on the internet, hands down. So it came in at 10:35. So I'm going to give that to
Epstein's mother.
I'm going to give that to Catch 22. Let's see. This is Carl from Rochester. I haven't written in a while, but listen regularly. Here's a game. Would Belichick stay or leave if Robert Kraft imposed these conditions? Note, I know these probably won't happen, Paul and Evan, but just throwing some ideas out there. Would he stay if Patricia and Judge can stay on the team, but have no coaching power over any part of the offense? Would he stay or leave?
I think he'd stay.
No power.
Of the offense.
Yeah.
No coaching power of the offense.
Right,
so you can make Joe Judge special teams coach, and you can make Matty P a defensive coach.
And the question was, would Bill accept this?
Yeah. Would he stay or leave?
Really?
So you think that he's going to keep those guys?
I don't think that Bill would accept any, like, you're out of, like, you have less responsibility now.
The OC must be someone with extensive offensive and play calling experience. More than one season. I'll preface that one.
What was that?
So the OC must be someone with extensive offensive and play calling experience. Does he stay or leave? This is a demand that is made on.
He stays.
That's a stay because I think that's just what you'd hire anyway, right? I mean,
right. Like if it's Bill O'Brien,
you got to hire an offensive coordinator. Okay, great. I'm going to hire some kid that's never done it before. Like no one's gonna.
Mac Jones must be consulted and have input on the QB coach decision.
I'm out.
I don't think he'd agree to that, and nor should he.
And finally, a new draft personnel is hired, and if they deem a pick too risky or too much of a reach, the pick is vetoed.
New draft personnel is hired?
I guess he means person.
A decider.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't see that one.
Yeah. I think, though, that I don't think Bill's going to like anything demanded. I think things are suggested, and it has to be Bill's idea.
Robert, it's a tonality issue.
Yeah.
Don't demand things.
I don't appreciate your tone.
Yeah. Bill in Vista, California, would you rather the Patriots sneak through the playoffs and win the Super Bowl,
yes,
but end up keeping Patricia as OC next year,
yes,
or miss the playoffs and bring in a qualified OC next year?
I'll take the Super Bowl.
Oh my God,
yeah, so
that's funny.
So
I'll sit here and have knockdown, drag-out arguments with Fred that it had nothing to do with the offense. I'll tell you right now.
But if that does,
I'll take the title.
But if that does somehow happen, you have to be okay with Patricia being the OC next year,
right?
Yeah, I'll take it.
Yeah, okay.
No more complaining.
All right,
I'll take it. I mean, I'll take a title over the alternative.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
Let's go back to the phones. We'll go to Austin in Michigan. What's up, Austin?
Hey, good afternoon, guys. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
Post show.
So, obviously, everybody saw the Hamlin injury, and one thing that I wasn't a huge fan of how they handled it was the way I saw it was the NFL, they wanted to continue play, but I really think that Sean McDermott was really the one that was pushing for the game to be canceled. Because if you look at, like, him having the conversation with the Bengals head coach and the referees and stuff, the way their, like, body language was, you know, they're standing all there and they got their hands on their sides and whatnot. But when Sean McDermott was talking, he had his hand over his mouth. He was covering it up because he didn't want people knowing what he was saying. And to me, watching the game, seeing what unfolded in the few minutes we got to see, you know, I saw a Bengals offense that was running the ball down the field. Their defense held the Bills to 3 points on their first drive. And on the Bengals' second drive, they were running up the field again. So,
I don't see where that matters.
This is totally irrelevant.
I mean, you're implying that
both teams got the ball and went right down the field in a blink.
You're implying that McDermott didn't want to, was looking for an out. I don't think that's the case.
Not
but
at
I did
all.
hear that he's told, the coach for the Bengals,
Zach Taylor said that yesterday.
Yeah, I got to go to the hospital. I got to go to the hospital.
But then you see how I think the Bills, like their staff, people were cleaning up the equipment before,
before you knew.
Yeah, before you knew. At that point, they knew.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense.
It was pretty clear.
And remember,
underneath,
they were the away team, so they had to start picking.
Right, and it was pretty clear underneath the stands when they showed those shots from that fixed camera, that they showed McDermott on the phone, and then he handed the phone to Taylor. It was pretty clear they were talking to either Troy Vincent or Roger.
Yeah,
and they were finding out, and maybe the coaches were the ones that said, yeah, we ain't playing the rest of this game.
Yeah, and that could happen, but to imply that he was looking for an out because he thought he was going to lose,
that's crazy.
No, I don't think so, Austin. Guess who's here?
Evan has returned from practice. Evan has returned from practice. Yeah, Evan has returned from practice. What was the mood? Who wasn't there? What did he see?
So, Evan, we want to hear from practice, and then also I want to get your take on Bill's press conference. But tell us what's going on outside.
Going on in the rain outside, so I just toughed it out for all of you. I just want to let you know I'm a hero.
Grouse.
Good news for the Patriots on Thursday. Marcus Jones and Jonnu Smith are back at practice.
Wow.
Thursday.
Jonnu's back, baby.
But that's the one we're excited about.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Marcus Jones, Jonnu Smith back at practice. The only player missing was Devon Godshaw. He wasn't on the injury report yesterday, so I wonder if that's an illness or something going on, personal or whatever. Wouldn't look too much into that. But the good news is Marcus Jones, Jonnu Smith, back at practice, back participating from what we could see briefly on our brief window. And I think that this can't be a bad thing for the Patriots, certainly. And I was talking to my cohort, Alex Barth, on the way back inside, and we're thinking, okay, well, you got John Jones on Diggs, and now maybe Marcus Jones on Isaiah McKenzie, and
cooking with gas.
You match up a little bit better. You do. I'm not saying that I feel much better about this game than I did yesterday, but certainly you have that. You have his big playability of potentially special teams, maybe playing him a little bit on offense like they did in the Thursday night game. I think that there is at least some positive, certainly, from that.
Okay. You did mention it was raining. Where was practice? Lower or upper field?
Lower grass field.
Lower.
In the rain. It's low 40s, so it's not freezing by any means. So I think that was the one positive, because if it was 10 degrees colder, it's probably snow not rain. So we still haven't, not to jinx it, but we still haven't had, to my knowledge, a snow practice.
No.
I don't think it snowed in a game
yet
either.
You're right. Not here.
Which has been weird.
And the early forecast for the Bills is there could be some precipitation, 30s.
I'll check an updated
I think
look
mid
here.
to upper 30s, I think, for Sunday at 1.
That sounds about right.
Mid to upper 30s. Wow.
Yeah.
That's warm.
While you were out there, did the media learn about Florio's report?
No.
Florio's reporting that the league is going to call the Bengals-Bills game a no contest.
Okay. That makes sense. So I guess in that sense, then, if the Chiefs win on Saturday night, then they've locked up the number 1 seed.
Yeah.
Yep.
If they all win, it'd be Chiefs 1, Bills 2, Bengals 3.
Right. So I guess the question is then for Patriots to spin it to the Patriots is how much of a difference does it make to Buffalo to be the 2 or the 3? Now, you get 2 home games, I guess, if they're not going to play Bills-Bengals divisional round at like a neutral site, which I know has been thrown out there.
Yeah.
Then you get 2 home games, I suppose, but you're definitely playing on Wild Card weekend if you wake up Sunday morning and the Chiefs won that game, which means you're playing in 7 days in the playoffs, maybe 6 if they put you on Saturday. Yeah. So I wonder how much that impacts. I think they still play everybody, but if you're Josh Allen and Sean McDermott comes up to you before the game and is just like, hey, if this was a playoff game, maybe you run for that first down, but maybe this one you throw the ball into the stands, that sort of thing.
Well, that was something I brought up earlier in the show. Was just Josh Allen's already a guy who is like, I'm going to do it on myself. Does he get even worse now, like feeling like I need to go out and make a play for my guy, and does he put more pressure on himself? That'd be something I'd be concerned if I was a Bills coach.
And as far as the mood, you said yesterday it was, you mentioned Carl Davis, it's Bills week. Anything like that today?
There was a lot of energy at practice today. Yeah. They were dancing to the music. They were moving. Guys were up for it, I think. And I think they, based off the vibe, and we haven't talked to anybody yet. We'll talk to them later today. But based off the vibe at practice last couple of days, I do think that winning on Sunday gave this team a little bit of a jolt that, okay, we're in it. Like, all we got to do is win, and we're going to be in the playoffs. And I think that did give them a little bit of a spark that they took care of business in a game they needed to win, and now they are able to win it in.
Well, my biggest thing is just, does it feel like a playoff week here? Because that's basically what it is, and it certainly feels different here in terms of the preparation. I mean, you've heard the guys talk about over years, everything kind of ramps up a bit when the playoffs start. It seems like what you're describing seems more like a playoff atmosphere. It's just it's hard to call upon that when you're dealing with all this other stuff. But I like hearing that they're getting ready to go and, bring it. They got to bring their best game of the season, and they got to, produce a game that they probably haven't played in at least 3 years.
And are there any members of the media doing extra grousing today?
Oh, the rain's always
Call
tough.
them out.
The rain's always tough.
Somebody
right?
forget an umbrella?
That's
Anybody?
always well, you can't be the guy with the umbrella, Mike. All right, you got a a hood with the jacket.
Stacy's from Seattle. He frowns upon that.
Oh, really?
He really does.
Sure. You
I never knew
obviously,
that.
I was in a jacket with a hood.
If Giardi was here, he'd pitch a tent. And he'd be
I'm sorry.
I'd
what?
be pitching a tent if Giardi was here.
Wow. No, but he'd have his 10 by 10 tent, and he'd have like a beach towel, and he'd be sitting.
I like
on the
how
towel.
he had to use the sizes.
Smelling wonderfully.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
no.
would just keep smelling it now.
No umbrellas.
Okay.
No.
So now I want to turn to Bill's press conference because we kind of watched it, but you were there. The theme was we're doing the best we can.
Yeah.
But anything else that you took out of that?
I hate that it comes to this circumstance, but I think when these things have happened, not that it happens often, but you do see a human side to Bill maybe a little bit more than when we get up there on a normal Wednesday, Thursday press conference and we're just asking him questions about the team and about football. I thought that the way that he put it into perspective for himself, going back to Reggie Brown in 1997 and being there, and it feels like he understands that this is from a player perspective, that this has to be very challenging to mentally see that and now go out there and play just like DeMar Hamlin went out there on Monday night to play a football game. And he did mention that Gerard Mayo and Troy Brown have been leading him and leading the team a little bit more maybe this week than in weeks past, just because they have that player perspective and coaching perspective. So he shouted them out. But I thought it was interesting how you see sort of the wall come down a little bit for Bill and start to talk about, this is bigger than football and life is, this is just a game, even though it's a very competitive game. This is one of those humbling moments where we realize that this is not just a football injury. All
right, good stuff. Let's take a break because Paul's food's here, and boy, it smells good. So we'll be right back after he eats.
Verizon, the network America relies on, and the official 5G network of the New England Patriots.
How did Verizon build the fastest 5G in the world? We started by building it right with 5G Ultra Wideband. Then we gave it massive capacity and near zero lag. And it's not just fast, it's 25 times faster than today's 4G networks. This is 5G built right from the network more people rely on, only on Verizon. 5G Ultra Wideband available only in parts of select cities. Global claim based on open signal independent analysis. 25 times analysis by Ookla Speed Test Intelligence data Q2 2020.
In sports, if you think joy only happens after you win, think again. Look at the world's most successful athletes like Serena Williams, Brooks Koepka, and Alex Morgan. They don't spend all their days grinding away. They take time to enjoy themselves, like getting together with friends over a Michelob Ultra, because they know that happiness is the key to winning, and that joy is the whole game, not just the end game. Michelob Ultra. 95 calories, 2.6 grams of carbs. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. AB Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
There's no season better than football season. And there's no better place to get in on all of the action than with DraftKings, the official daily fantasy sports partner of the New England Patriots. To add to the thrill, DraftKings has millions of dollars in prizes up for grabs every week. So head to the app now and check it out. If you haven't tried it yet, fantasy football is easy to play. Just pick 9 players, stay under the salary cap, and pile up points for yards, touchdowns, receptions, and so much more. There's no better way to put your football knowledge to the test than to compete for a shot at $1 million in total prizes. Download the DraftKings app now and use promo code PATS to get a shot at millions of dollars in total prizes every week. That's promo code PATS to get a shot at millions of dollars in total prizes every week, only at DraftKings. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com for details.
Want to get into the game? Get coached up at Dean College.
equipped with exclusive academic partnerships featuring the Patriots, Revolution, Providence Bruins, summer baseball, and more. Our classrooms are set up for success by learning directly from the pros. Dean College has programs in communications, sports management, business, and marketing with unprecedented hands-on experiences. Our students take what they learn in the classroom and put it right to work in the marketplace. At Dean College, our students don't just play games, we run them. Visit us at dean.edu.
Patriot Place is the region's #1 shopping, dining, and entertainment destination. Shop your favorites, including Vineyard Vines, Express, Olympia Sports, Petco, and more. Enjoy dining at one of our 19 restaurants, including 6 String Grill and Stage, Scorpion Bar, and Bar Louie. And don't forget about the entertainment. Explore your inner artist at Muse Paint Bar, watch a movie at Showcase Cinema Deluxe, or grab a controller and start gaming at Helix eSports. For a complete directory listing, please visit patriot-place.com.
When someone accidentally threw away the school play costumes,
oh no!
Replacements were shipped with FedEx. And with picture proof of delivery, everyone could focus on the perfect opening night. FedEx, where now meets next. For residential delivery only.
Some people are never content with simply being good. Not when they can be great. But it takes a big step to get there. In fact, it takes a leap of faith, a belief in what you're striving toward, and a willingness to make the commitment, day in and day out, to something bigger than yourself. Putnam is proud to partner with those who share their own commitment to performance excellence. This is Matt Light for Putnam Investments, a world of investing.
Patriots fans, you'll want to check out the replay on this one. Pat the Patriot is stealing the show tonight with his Bank of America mobile banking app.
That's right, folks. So here we see Pat cheering, and then whammo! Is that Bank of America life plan?
Looks like he's saving up for some big future moves. Planning the next vacay, huh, big guy?
And wait, now he's paying back his buddy for concessions using Zelle? No penalty there. Incredible!
No way! As if that double move wasn't impressive enough, now he's beefing up his account defense with security meter? Holy cannoli, what a performance!
Bank of America's digital tools are so impressive, Patriot fans just can't stop banking. Learn more at bankofamerica.com/banking. You must be enrolled in online banking or download the latest version of the mobile banking app, only available on select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. Terms and conditions apply. Member FDIC. Verizon, the network America relies on, and the official 5G network of the New England Patriots.
How did Verizon build the fastest 5G in the world? We started by building it right with 5G ultra wideband. Then we gave it massive capacity and near zero lag. And it's not just fast, it's 25 times faster than today's 4G networks. This is 5G built right from the network more people rely on, only on Verizon. 5G ultra wideband available only in parts of select cities. Global claim based on open signal independent analysis. 25 times analysis by Ookla Speed Test Intelligence data Q2 2020.
In sports, if you think joy only happens after you win, think again. Look at the world's most successful athletes like Serena Williams, Brooks Koepka, and Alex Morgan. They don't spend all their days grinding away. They take time to enjoy themselves, like getting together with friends over a Michelob Ultra, because they know that happiness is the key to winning, and that joy is the whole game, not just the end game. Michelob Ultra. 95 calories, 2.6 grams of carbs. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. AB Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
There's no season better than football season. And there's no better place to get in on all of the action than with DraftKings, the official daily fantasy sports partner of the New England Patriots. To add to the thrill, DraftKings has millions of dollars in prizes up for grabs every week. So head to the app now and check it out. If you haven't tried it yet, fantasy football is easy to play. Just pick 9 players, stay under the salary cap, and pile up points for yards, touchdowns, receptions, and so much more. There's no better way to put your football knowledge to the test than to compete for a shot at $1 million in total prizes. Download the DraftKings app now and use promo code PATS to get a shot at millions of dollars in total prizes every week. That's promo code PATS to get a shot at millions of dollars in total prizes every week, only at DraftKings. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com for details.
Want to get into the game? Get coached up at Dean College. Equipped with exclusive academic partnerships featuring the Patriots, Revolution, Providence Bruins, summer baseball, and more, our classrooms are set up for success by learning directly from the pros. Dean College has programs in communications, sports management, business, and marketing with unprecedented hands-on experiences. Our students take what they learn in the classroom and put it right to work in the marketplace. At Dean College, our students don't just play games, we run them. Visit us at dean.edu.
Patriot Place is the region's #1 shopping, dining, and entertainment destination. Shop your favorites, including Vineyard Vines, Express, Olympia Sports, Petco, and more. Enjoy dining at one of our 19 restaurants, including 6 String Grill and Stage, Scorpion Bar, and Bar Louie. And don't forget about the entertainment. Explore your inner artist at Muse Paint Bar, watch a movie at Showcase Cinema Deluxe, or grab a controller and start gaming at Helix eSports. For a complete directory listing, please visit patriot-place.com.
When someone accidentally threw away the school play costumes,
Oh no.
replacements were shipped with FedEx. And with picture proof of delivery, everyone could focus on the perfect opening night. FedEx, where now meets next. For residential delivery only.
Some people are never content with simply being good. Not when they can be great. But it takes a big step to get there. In fact, it takes a leap of faith, a belief in what you're striving toward, and a willingness to make the commitment, day in and day out, to something bigger than yourself. Putnam is proud to partner with those who share their own commitment to performance excellence. This is Matt Light for Putnam Investments, a world of investing.
Patriots fans, you'll want to check out the replay on this one. Pat the Patriot is stealing the show tonight with his Bank of America mobile banking app.
That's right, folks. So here we see Pat cheering, and then whammo! Is that Bank of America life plan?
Looks like he's saving up for some big future moves. Planning the next vacay, huh, big guy?
And wait, now he's paying back his buddy for concessions using Zelle? No penalty there. Incredible!
No way! As if that double move wasn't impressive enough, now he's beefing up his account defense with security meter? Holy cannoli, what a performance!
Bank of America's digital tools are so impressive, Patriot fans just can't stop banking. Learn more at bankofamerica.com/banking. You must be enrolled in online banking or download the latest version of the mobile banking app, only available on select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. Terms and conditions apply. Member FDIC.
And now, great moments in history.
I don't think that Matthew Stafford's a sure thing right now. And you know I like Matthew Stafford.
Yeah.
I mean, Fred's going to make fun of me. But
love him.
I think if you get him in, you can find out exactly what you have with Baker Mayfield
I guess
in the last 5 weeks.
guess
This is a guy I think could really thrive in my offense.
No,
this is a guy that he's not a fit at
I
all.
guess if you're saying that Stafford's not a sure thing, then okay.
Yeah.
But I mean, how can you say Stafford's a sure thing?
Oh, I didn't know the injury was that, like, he was possibly out for 2023.
Oh, no. He's not going to be out for 2023. He may decide I'm not playing anymore.
Okay, well, either way, he's not a sure thing.
Like, I'm just like, I'm not saying that there's any reports that say that Matthew Stafford might not play next year. I'm saying the guy's in his late 30s and has a spinal contusion. I think he might say, you know what? I got lucky. I'm getting out.
Yeah, so he's not a sure thing.
Yeah.
So in McVay's McVay's mind, he's not sure.
He's making it a report. I'm not reporting this.
That's another great moment from
All right, back here in Patriots Unfiltered, 855-PATS-500. It's the Ace Ticket Hotline, web radio at patriots.com. Florio is reporting that the league is planning to name the Bengals-Bills game a no contest. And my question was, is that different from calling it a tie? I don't know, but Neil says it's better than a tie is better than a loss. So to me, it has to be better than an NA or a no contest. A tie would mean that Baltimore can't win the division.
There is, no. If it's a no contest, they can't win the division either.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I believe they're 2 games behind. No.
I don't.
Yeah, a tie is. I feel like it's the one and the same, honestly, which is what's confusing me, because a tie is not when you calculate win percentage, it's wins over games played. And so you're still having the same amount of wins. Like I don't
Kansas
know.
City's 14-3 would be better than Buffalo's 13-3.
Correct.
If it's a no contest.
Right.
And it would be better than 13-3-1.
Correct.
Same thing.
Right.
Yeah,
and that's
it's
how I
not
look
like
at
hockey
it.
where there's
now,
points.
Baltimore,
Right.
Baltimore has 10 wins, correct?
Yes.
They're 10
So
and 6.
they're 10-6, so they would finish 11-6. Cincinnati would finish 11-5 if they lose.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
So they win the division.
Yeah.
11-5 is better than 11-6, even if they lose the game.
Yeah.
Even if they tie the game, it's the same.
Mm-hmm.
Like from a standing standpoint, I don't know. Like
this is too much math for me.
Yeah, I'm on the verge of real. You know me.
I'm
It's
just
not.
not,
You know
that's
me.
why I just look at Paul and I'm like, yeah.
The
no,
numbers,
that sounds right.
not my strong suit. Scenarios, I'm there for you.
Dude, you love the
Numbers, not my
scenarios.
strong
You
suit.
love the scenarios. End of game situation.
Nathan says, first time for me watching you guys on video, and I just wanted to point out how completely appropriate it is that Fred is not facing Paul. It makes the shouting matches so much more enjoyable to imagine Fred just grinning while Paul yells at the side of his face.
That is what happens.
Well, you got to get the triangulation down. So if you can see it, like picture
crossfire?
Fred, Paul yelling at Fred giving me like these eyes.
The look. The look.
As Paul is yelling into his right ear.
Right.
Since we're nearing the end of the season and the Patriots supposedly have the third most cap space in the league this coming year, are there any particular free agents who would?
That number is fungible.
I go
right?
by
That's word,
the
right?
Miguel. I think the Miguel is 37 to 41 million,
Yeah,
which is
the-
not.
I don't
mean,
know
it's
where
some,
that.
but-
There's been things out there that they have like $100 million in cap space, which is just not even close to accurate. I don't know. I don't really know, but I go by Miguel as well, and he's I think around between 35 and 40 million.
Barton Poland says one thing is certain for Sunday: it will be a true throwback game for the Patriots. Once again, everyone will be rooting for us to lose.
That's probably accurate.
Yeah, probably.
I know it's a tough spot. It's a tough spot. I mean, how do you know? He's just.
And then if you win, then we're mean.
You're the heel.
And you're like celebrating.
Yeah.
It's like a heel turn in the WWE.
James Pettigrew, the most interesting Patriots fan in the world, wants to know why Zoe wears shades on TV. He has like an eye.
He's got an
thing.
eye issue, and the television lights really bug him.
But you're calling into this show asking us about Zoe. Like why didn't you?
Well, he is on the background. So.
He's right there.
I see Zoe in the background.
Yeah.
Yeah, big head.
Let's see. Anthony, quick question.
Anthony.
If they determine Buffalo-Cincinnati is a no contest and Kansas City wins Saturday, Buffalo has nothing to play for Sunday.
Correct. That's what Evan said.
Who
right
wins
when he
the
got back.
tiebreaker between Cincinnati and Buffalo without the head-to-head?
Cincinnati.
Based on what?
Oh no, excuse me. If Buffalo wins and beats the Patriots, they'd be the 2 seed. Buffalo does.
But if they lose, who would be the 2 seed?
Cincinnati.
Based on
well,
what, though?
Depending on what happens with Cincinnati-Baltimore. So
No, but if they tie and they don't play,
I
like
believe
everybody
it's-
says Cincinnati would be tied over Buffalo because they would have beaten them.
Right. So I believe that the next tiebreaker
be
is
conference
record, which I think if Cincinnati takes
don't know.
care of biz, they would have. I'm pretty positive that that's what it is, but we're getting into a lot of permutations at this point. So.
I mean, it sounds right.
It's let me figure it out for you.
Let's get back to the phones. We'll go to Todd, North Carolina, who's hung on. What's up, Todd?
Todd.
Hey, good afternoon, gentlemen.
What up, Todd?
So I want to actually talk about the game because I know we've been talking a little bit of hypotheticals, playoffs, and all this other stuff. What does our offense need to do in order to win this game? I think we need four sustained
touchdowns.
drives with 2 touchdowns and 2 field goals. That's what I want. 4 sustained drives.
I'm with you on 4. I think it's 4 touchdowns. So I think
So Buffalo has the tiebreaker over
there we go.
Cincinnati. Okay, so if Buffalo
because they would have
loses-
the same conference record, so
Right.
I got lost at that point.
If Buffalo and Cincinnati both lose, then Buffalo's the 2 seed. If they both win, Buffalo's the 2 seed.
Okay.
Okay.
Back to the question. Sorry, Todd.
Todd said
It's
4
okay, Evan. I
4
think,
drives.
Fred jumped the shark.
Yeah. I don't know, Todd. I just think you need 4 touchdowns from the offense. 4 touchdowns.
I think if we can get to 20 points, I think we can, and with sustained drives. I mean, I don't mean like you guys have been talking about. Well, is this an offensive?
Who cares what the
score?
drives
I mean, a
look
sustained
like?
drive.
Yeah.
I think he's talking about time of possession,
Like
right?
keeping
so
Josh
Exactly,
off the
Thank
field.
you.
Yes,
Yeah.
if you have like 15 play drive, then maybe you can. It's the old like
I
what they
think-
did against.
I think
Peyton
it's
Manning,
highly
you know?
I think you're going to need more
unlikely.
than 20
Yeah.
points. I do.
I mean, they had 17 after the first 3 possessions of the last game.
So 20 points and a defensive touchdown. So we're at 27. Then
maybe
we're
all
talking. All right,
that's different.
But you can't plan for that.
No, and I think you probably have to plan not for it because it's happened so much. Like you can't
eventually
count
the
on
well
it.
runs dry. Yeah.
Regression to the mean.
Yeah.
So basically, we're looking at 4 touchdowns for our offense to make. So
well, I just think, whatever, however you get there, I think you're going to need to mid to high 20s to be in the game.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So that's at least 3 touchdowns and 2 field goals, then kind of minimum.
So that's
That's
this is
a
way
lot
too
of
much.
You're on the line.
to this offense, I think.
Okay.
Maybe like 4 safeties.
All right.
Underrated play in that
Todd.
Thursday night game was Josh Allen tackling Matthew Judon when he's on the strip sack, because Matthew Judon got the ball and he was ready. I don't know if he would have made it to the end zone, but he would have at least put them in plus territory.
Where maybe.
And Josh Allen tackled him for no gain, which was low-key a very, very big play in that game.
What's a big play overall? It's just, I mean, one of the only turnovers they've gotten out of these guys in
Yeah.
recent memory. It's just, I mean, it was almost one of the questions I was going to ask in the roundtable, and I felt kind of like,
should we put that in the game that they should have won because they should have had another defensive score?
Yes.
Might as well.
Yes, thank you.
They're 1-4 against these guys. I mean, their point total is almost double. No interceptions from Josh Allen. That one fumble. Just like, what do you do at this point? Like, I mean, it's like, Evan, how many times have you written a defensive? Here's what the Patriots need to do against Josh Allen in this game.
Yep.
And they like, you know what I mean? You just running out of they tried it all. Like it just comes down to, on this particular day, we have to outplay them, and we have to hope that he's not on and nails and just throwing it all over the yard and running like a man possessed. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
the opening drive for the Bills in the last game, the very first snap, they ran an inverted cover 2 simulated pressure. That's a lot of big words to just say that they gave up a 5-yard gain, right? Like it just. They ran a play that had all the bells and whistles that at their disposal. They dropped the guy off the line. They blitzed the guy up the middle. They took the corners on the outside and they inverted them into the too high shell. And like all this, they were spinning the dial all over the place. And I think against a quarterback like a Teddy Bridgewater or some of the quarterbacks that they've beaten this year, when you just throw the kitchen sink of information at those guys, it can overwhelm them and you can win that way. But against a guy like Josh Allen, I think ultimately it does catch him a few times. But I think what ultimately happens is he's just like, you know what, I'm just better than this. So, like, I'm just going to run around and I'm going to make a play, right?
Yeah.
And he doesn't really get too caught up in, I got to read this coverage and are they trapping me here? Are they actually running this? And, like, all this other stuff. He's just like, I have a laser, so I'm just going to throw it there anyways.
and if not, I'll just run over somebody and get the first down.
Yeah.
Sean's in New York. Hey, Sean.
Sean.
Yikes.
Sean.
I wonder if it's Sean. I wonder if that was Sean McDermott in New York.
Good job. Good job, Fred.
It's like I can't coach this game this weekend.
Claire writes in.
I just dumped the game.
Hello, everyone. Hello, Maureen.
Hello, Claire.
With Derek Carr sitting out, I got a little curious of what you would prefer if there were options for next season at quarterback. So would you rather Mac Jones, but with someone decent at OC? Mac Jones, regardless of who is at OC. Patriots draft a high-pick quarterback and a new OC, and if so, we keep or trade Mac. Bring in a veteran, insert one of the reasonable choice, and someone new at OC, and if so, keep or trade Mac.
I just think Mac. It's Mac for next year. My opinion.
Probably. Yeah. I mean, without knowing specifics, I would say Mac and a new OC.
Yeah.
I don't think you're really talking about moving on till Mac till at least year 4, and even then probably not till year 5 when maybe you didn't pick up the 5th-year option because it doesn't turn around.
Yeah, I would agree, and I've been somewhat critical, but I would have to say that this is an atypical year 2 for any young quarterback to have to deal with all of the stuff that he had to deal with. I don't think he handled it well. I've been on record as saying that many times. I don't have to repeat it. But I do think you'd have to be catastrophically bad, like Zach Wilson bad, to not deserve a 3rd year. And, it sounds like Wilson's probably going to get one too, as bad as he's been. But based on the abnormalities of the way the offense was set up this year, I don't know how you can justify, unless you get a home run, falls in your lap.
Yeah, that's the tough part in this draft is that Bryce Young and C.J. Stroud are going to be 1 and 2. I would be shocked if they're not. And if you're picking 18th, then that's a really steep trade up, probably an impossible trade up,
Right.
honestly, to get all the way up to top 2. And then like you're talking about, I don't know, Will Levis from Kentucky. Like I don't think that's changing your team at all.
It's not Will Levis.
It is. It
This
actually
is how we
is.
go. You know me, Paul. We start to do like the draft things of the week. We just like Noah
Igbenanage. Nene.
Yeah.
Nene.
That's what I was reading. I'm like,
Aruwari.
And it's going to be what? Texans, Colts are going to have those top 2 picks, and they both need quarterbacks. So if you're going to try to steal one of those guys, you're going to have to give a king's ransom to get it.
When I was suggesting if something fell in your lap, it wasn't. You're right. You're not going to have something fall in your lap in the draft. But maybe someone that you don't anticipate being available. As a veteran quarterback, and I'm not saying
Tom
Derek
Brady.
Carr. I'm saying someone of a higher stature, and all of a sudden you can get him. Like weird things happen. You just never know.
The way it falls and the right guy.
Who's going to be the next guy who's completely disgruntled with their team and just wants out, and he can play.
Like at what point?
Tom Brady?
Like let's just say
I don't know.
I don't know. Do you
Joe
think,
Burrow?
Do you think Aaron Rodgers is going to stay with the Packers?
Yes.
Yeah.
So would they want to trade Jordan Love, and would you be interested?
I think they should at some point. I mean,
I wouldn't, but I could see why some people would.
I mean, how much do they like him? I mean, I think that's a question. If they, we like him, then I think keep him around. But I don't know. It doesn't feel kind of like the Patriots with
But
with
at
Garoppolo.
some point,
You
isn't
feel
he like
he's
a
not gonna be the
Garoppolo
guy,
there?
and let's get something for him while we can.
He's going into year 4.
Right.
So he's on that, and he was a first-round
They didn't
pick.
pick up
So
his
I guess
option?
I don't know. I think they already had to decide on that, right? So I don't know.
This is his 4th year.
I know I think next year is his
So
4th
this is
year.
his
Oh, so they'll have to decide.
this
They'll have to
offseason.
decide in the offseason.
So yeah, it'd be
That's
interesting
no
to see
way,
what
right?
they do.
No, I would pick it up.
Yeah.
If you
It's
think
team
he's
control.
any good, I mean, they
Yeah.
know what they think of him.
Yeah.
Like LaFleur's had him for 3 years.
Yeah.
If you think he's any good, you pick it up and you say, "Well, I'll push that off that decision as long as I can."
Yeah, keep
like a lot of
keep
people
Mikey.
thought this was it for Aaron Rodgers. Now all of a sudden their defense is playing out of its mind and he's rejuvenated. He actually looked like he cared the other night when they won, and they're going to go to the playoffs. All they have to do is win a game Sunday night and they're in.
Yep.
Against
So
the Lions.
I think he'll be back.
Gary writes in, Fred, I know you'll remember, even if the other guys don't. I was listening to the preseason game when Darryl Stingley went down. I was white as a ghost, sick to my stomach, and in suspended animation for hours, just like Monday night. His life was in danger in a different way, but just the same. It's a Patriots moment I'll never forget, along with the night he returned to Foxborough and was in the press box before the game.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Really well.
That's an interesting example, though. I mean, I know the T. Higgins stuff. I mean, but that was a play, right, where it was. I can't.
That was a vicious hit.
That was a vicious hit,
Oh, yeah.
right? Like,
yeah.
But I mean, that was kind of, I don't want to say par for the course in the league at that point,
Right.
but it was certainly a lot more.
Hitting guys over the middle,
Yeah.
clotheslining them like that, going high, that was not called a penalty back in those days. There wasn't a flag on that
I don't
play.
think so, but I don't remember.
I don't think there was. Yikes. I don't think there was. Andrew says, in the situation where KC wins on Saturday and the Bills cannot win the number 1 seed, assuming you were Buffalo, how would you rank your potential wild card opponents from most want to play to least want to play? Versus New England, versus Pittsburgh, versus Miami, or versus Baltimore without Lamar Jackson?
Well, I mean, it is a little tempting with Baltimore, but I would just say a team that you play twice a year that you've owned. I mean, that you're familiar with them.
I
It's
think
not
Pittsburgh
like a big
would be my
curve.
most desirable
Yeah,
option.
I still
but
go Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
With the Patriots would be
It's close.
next.
I mean, they're similar.
Yeah.
It's some good edge rushers.
Yeah, and you can't say
Young
Baltimore
quarterback.
without Lamar Jackson because that's not on the table. You don't
Right.
know that.
I would still, maybe it's just the homer in me, but I'd still lean Pittsburgh.
Oh yeah, me too.
I don't know. I think there's something still very, like, there's obviously something missing from this team too, but I just don't think Pittsburgh is,
Well, here's the
is
thing.
a threat.
I've said this a million times this year. There's only one way the Patriots have to win. Pittsburgh is very similar.
Yeah.
That's the only way they can win is 17-13, 16-14. Like, that's the game that they win. So I will take the Patriots' chances in that rock fight.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Patriots are better in that kind of a game. I think they're better suited than Pittsburgh. I don't think Pittsburgh can score. If I'm Buffalo, I think the Patriots are a little bit better than Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
I'd rather play Pittsburgh than the Patriots.
Yeah. Another question I almost put in the round table was the Jets and the Dolphins both beat the Bills at home this year, and then both of them also had one-score games in Buffalo this year. I know circumstances around, but why can't the Patriots have a close game like that? Like every game they've kind of lost here has been 2+ scores, double-digit losses. Like why are those teams able to not only beat Buffalo at home and hold serve, but make things interesting on the road too? It's just why are the Patriots feel like they just
Miami
have no
played
answer
them
for
at full strength, right? So their offense is much better than the Patriots' offense at full strength. So I think that's for them. I would say they can keep up on the scoreboard with Tua. I think for the Jets, the Bills are a bad matchup for the Patriots. They're just a bad matchup. And
but it's like, how does it keep happening 3 years in a row? Like we're bad. We'll run it back next year. Like
the Jets have a lot more team speed, I'd say, on defense still. Like I think the Patriots have made strides in that department, but they still aren't as fast as a team like the Jets. The Jets are also a really good zone team, which I think helps when you play man against Buffalo. They shred man. Allen is so mobile, and the receivers are tough to cover in man. Diggs is like, how do you cover Stephon Diggs for 4 quarters in man coverage? So I think that's a big part of it too. But I think for Miami, it's that they could keep up with them on the scoreboard.
All right. I guess it's that time of the week, huh?
Really?
A little early. Yeah. Take our time.
A little early.
We won't rush it this week.
I want to hear about the standings though.
Yeah.
Well, I was not prepared for this. Okay. Well, as I previewed, a very good week for everybody. Alex was the best.
Wow.
Good.
At 13-2.
Okay.
Francisco.
You might notice this is a strange number of games.
Correct.
I didn't award anybody the victory for the Buffalo-Cincinnati game. But Alex, 13-2. Mike, Evan, Paul, 12-3. Fred 11-4. Like really, this is a really good week. Now
good job,
with the
everybody.
spread, not as good for anybody except for Evan.
Yeah.
9-6.
Making money. Making
Good
money.
solid week. Alex 8-7. Mike 8-7. Paul 7-8. Fred 4-11.
Oh God.
Going out strong.
Oh my God.
So, season standings, Mike?
I know.
164-89-2. Mike 163-90-2.
We had two
Michael.
different, and they somehow
He cannot
pick up ground. Here it is.
Fred 154-99-2. Evan remains with the best overall winning percentage at 103-55-1. That's a 651 winning percentage ahead of my 647. And Alex is 87-49, which is a 640 winning percentage.
Paul's coming up on Don Shula.
The spread.
I kick him off the show before he gets there.
This is just ridiculous. 145, 106, and 4. 576 winning percentage.
good.
Why didn't I bet $100
Sharps.
on every game?
Because you can't.
Because I'd be fired. But that would be okay because I'd have the money. A lot more than never mind.
All right.
Mike, 126, 125, and 4.
One game over.
Fred, 112, 139, and 4. Evan, solid 80, 76, and 3. You're making money.
Making
money.
Making money. 513 winning percentage. Alex, 66, 68, and 2.
Oh, not making money. Losing money.
Losing money.
Paul and I should go to
All
the
right.
encore. We're doing a good job.
Yeah.
That's when it would stop.
Okay.
Right.
So, full slate of games this week. And they start on Saturday.
Hate it.
These
like it?
No.
Why?
Why?
I'm with Paul on this. Like
Give me a day off.
the competitive imbalance that we're getting here is just not
Yeah,
for me.
True.
That's why you hate the Saturday games?
Yes.
Oh.
I liked it when everything was played at Sunday at the same time. The drama is much better.
But I just meant like Saturday games in general at the end of the year. You're fine with those. You just don't like it because of the competitive.
I like them in like week 16, 17, sure.
I like having, like what Fred said. Like, do I not do something Saturday because I feel like I need to see what happens in the game? And the answer to that is no. I will do something
it's just
Saturday.
good to have a day.
Jackson.
So 4:30 is the first game, and these are on.
This is the one that matters to the Patriots.
These are on ESPN and ABC. They're putting it on both channels, according to this.
Jared Stidham.
13-3 Chiefs are at the 6-10 Raiders.
Chiefs by 9.5.
9.5. I'm going to just say that Kansas City makes life a lot easier on a lot of us, and they pull out the win. However, I think I'm going to take those points, though. I think Las Vegas kind of letting it rip a little bit. And I think that they'll keep it closer than 10 points.
Yeah, I'm going to do the same thing. Chiefs with the Raiders covering the spread. Patrick Mahomes, MVP of the league. Not close. Thank you.
I love when he speaks in definitive tones. I am with the boys. Kansas City to win, Vegas to cover. I would be willing to pull an upset here, but I'm wondering if the Raiders kind of emptied the bucket last week.
Yeah.
Bad team, really good performance against a good team. They still lost.
Short.
So I do in the back of my mind wonder about that, but they seem to play really good games, Kansas City and Vegas.
Yeah.
So I'll split it.
Yeah, I'm going to do the same thing. We're unanimous. Chiefs win, but the Raiders cover. 8:15 on ESPN and ABC. The 7-9 Titans are at the 8-8 Jaguars.
Jags by 6.
Josh Dobbs, right?
Yep.
For the Titans.
Josh Dobbs is going to lose to Trevor Lawrence. I think this is a Jaguars. I don't want to say coming out game, but I think that they put it all together here. They have a nice climax to their season and punch their playoff ticket. I'm going to take Jags and I'll lay the points.
I'm also going to take the Jags. I think this is a passing of the torch in this division. I think the Jags are going to stick around, but I like the Titans to keep it close because I think they'll play for Vrabel and the division and they'll battle.
I'm with Evan. I think the same thing. I think Tennessee will have a chance to win this game. I wonder if Jacksonville's ready for a big game. Some young guys that haven't really been in this spot. But I just think Tennessee's too beat up to actually win the game, and Josh Dobbs, like Evan said.
I don't think they're ready for this.
I've been riding Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars. I'll keep on that ride. Jaguars win against the Titans. What was the number on that, Paul?
6.
Oh, 6.
When did you start riding Trevor Lawrence?
A long time ago.
He's been riding him.
I will. I'll say
Cuzzo.
I'll say the Jaguars cover in this game. We move over to Sunday, 1:00. The 8-8 Buccaneers are at the 6-10 Falcons.
Buccaneers by 4.
Fire the cannons!
Wow, what the heck happened on my sheet? This is all maxed up. All right. Well, is this Tom Brady wrapping things up?
Oh, I'm sorry. Atlanta by 4.
Atlanta by 4?
Yes.
Oh, this is easy then. This is a lead pipe lock.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Tampa, and I'll take the points. Right,
taking Tampa,
what's
you
going
got the
on?
points.
I know.
Atlanta's favored by 4.
Yeah. All right. Well,
Tampa already won the division,
Tampa.
right?
Correct.
And then they're definitely playing on wild.
The spread
card
is
weekend.
telling you that they're not playing anybody in this game.
That's
what the spread is
sharp,
telling
That's
you.
what the sharps say.
I saw the
Eileen,
Trask might play a little bit for the Bucks.
Is
Eileen
Tom Brady going to
Falcons.
play?
I do.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Eileen Falcons, I think they end up taking Brady out in the second half, and he doesn't put together the magical drive to make sure the Bucks win the game because he's not playing.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to just go with the spread here. I'm going to take Atlanta to win the game outright.
I'm going to go with the Buccaneers. I mean, if the Buccaneers aren't playing anybody, why with the Falcons?
This is a big one for me, for Paul.
It's going to be Desmond Ritter, though. I think.
Yeah,
I think
and he's been playing, and they've been playing hard.
he's got something to prove.
Yeah, as long as Tom's playing, though.
I don't think he will.
Oh,
I think the spread's telling you he's not going to be in the game very long.
I don't know. I just saw Trask was expected.
I'll
to
say
maybe
the
get
Bucks
some.
anyway. What the
Me
hell?
too.
1:00. The 12-4 Vikings are at the 3-13 Bears.
Minnesota by 7. No Justin Fields.
Yeah.
3-13.
It's crazy.
One of those 3. That was us.
Should have won that one too.
No, that one.
You know what? I'm going to take Minnesota. Would you say it was -7?
7.
Yeah. I'm going to take Minnesota. I'm going to lay the points. I feel like they all of a sudden just have one of those games where they bounce back and play well and put up a bunch of points. No Justin Jefferson, though, right?
No idea.
All right.
Is he hurt?
No, I don't know. Oh, sorry. You said Justin Fields. I'm good.
Yeah, Justin Fields
Minnesota.
isn't playing.
Too many Justins.
I'm going to take Minnesota too, but they're frauds. Sorry.
Yeah, they are.
Fraudulent. Blown out by the Cowboys. Blown out by the Packers. Not a good football team.
So you got both. So you taking the points?
I am, but just because the Bears are stinky.
Oh, so you're giving the points. Okay.
Yeah.
I am going to lay the points too. Minnesota both ways, perhaps with their first victory of the season by more than a score.
Yeah, I'm going to take
Something like that.
Minnesota as well to cover and win. Sunday at 1, the 10-6 Ravens are at the 11-4 Bengals.
Bengals by 7.
What do the Sharps know? No Lamar Jackson.
Yep. That's what they know.
Yeah, I'm going to take Cincy. I'll lay the points.
I take the Bengals as well. I think they blow them out, so I think they cover. Bengals, Patriots, wild card round, if it comes to that.
Huh?
I don't hate it.
Yeah, I'll say it.
I'd
rather than see Buffalo again.
Or Kansas City. Yeah. If I had to pick one of those three, I'm taking the Bengals.
Yeah. Plus, you get to watch Joe Burrow again.
I will take Cincinnati to win. I will take the points, however.
Really?
Division game, I think it'll be close.
Yeah, I'm going to take Bengals both ways. Sunday at 1, the 2-13-1 Texans are at the 4-11-1 Colts.
Wow. Should have flexed this to prime time.
The toilet bowl.
Colts by 2.5.
Colts by 2.5. Colts are at home. I'm just going to take them at home. I'll lay the points. Not really sure why.
So the Texans they're locked into the number 1 pick, right?
I
believe so because I think this is
Nobody's
2 wins and a tie.
Yeah.
Does anybody have 3 wins?
Yeah.
The Bears.
The Bears. Yeah.
Oh, so they're not locked in, right?
No, they're
'Cause
not
3
locked
wins
in.
and a tie would be better than 3 wins, right?
Right.
I take the Colts because the Colts cannot get the number 1 pick based off of that, and I think the Texans really want that number 1 pick.
Yeah, I'm going to take Houston anyway because I think that they've played reasonably hard down the stretch, but I wish they had locked up the number 1 seed, to your point, and they could go out and try to win the game without anything in the back of their mind.
It is interesting, the Lovey angle. Like I don't know if Lovey's going to be back next year, and maybe he doesn't give a...
Yeah.
But
does he care about that number 1 pick?
Right.
I am going to go with the Colts in this game. Last home game, Colts go out with a win. Sunday at 1, the 7-9 Jets are at the 8-8 Dolphins.
Jets by 1.5.
Jets by 1.5.
This is a tough one.
This is a tough one.
Yeah, I might fade this game.
I don't know. I don't know what that means still, but I'm gonna fade it. I'm gonna go Miami at home. I think it's a tough one though. This is kind of a coin flip, but I'm gonna take the Dolphins and I'll lay the points.
I like the Jets. I like them to. It's only 1.5, so I like them to cover too.
Yeah.
Skylar Thompson or Teddy Bridgewater with a broken pinky against that.
Dislocated.
Against that defense, I think the Jets still play hard. Nope.
Yeah.
Don't like it.
Yeah, I'll take the Jets too.
If the Dolphins lose 6 in a row to end the season, losses.
I think so,
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mike McDaniel on the hot seat.
Armando reported that yesterday. I
He
think.
shouldn't be, but he could be. I don't think he should be, right?
But they're talking about him and the GM.
You know me. I would have fired him
Clean
week
house.
1.
Yeah.
Chris Greer?
Chris Greer's been there since like 2015.
Right. Like all of a sudden he's going to get fired?
You remember that one, right? Week 1 when he was running plays instead of taking a knee at the end of the game. I said, I'd fire him right now. That's coaching negligence.
Well, if they can get Sean Payton. Because they've wanted Sean Payton
absolutely.
for a while.
That's why I don't think it's out of the realm of
They
possibility.
just seem like loose cannons.
So this is when they finally get Peyton and Brady and
Yep.
Yeah.
Thomas.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Jets as well.
I'm going to go with the Jets.
Yeah, I think that the Dolphins are really in a tailspin. Sunday at 1, the 6-10 Panthers are at the 7-9 Saints.
Saints by 3.
Saints by 3.
Now, what do the Sharps know here? Because the Panthers have been playing well. I know they lost last week to the Bucs, but they have been playing better.
Yeah.
You know?
The Saints beat the Eagles last week.
Yeah, but without Jalen, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's all your 8 wins are against the backup quarterback.
I'm right back to where I am. I have no idea.
So we got a lot of sameness going on here.
No, but you say
they have like the same record. They both,
I know it's tough. I'm just gonna go home team here again, New Orleans.
Yeah,
lay 'em.
I'm gonna do the same thing.
I will take the Saints.
I'm going to take the Panthers. So screw you.
Yeah, I don't think your pick is a bad pick. I just think it's 2 bad teams playing. They have the home team favored by 3.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a red flag. That's not like the Falcons, a bad team over the division champs by 4.
Well, the Bucs are also a bad team, to be fair. But
they're a better team than the Falcons, although they should have lost to the Falcons the first time.
Sunday at 1.
How do you remember that?
The 7-9 Browns.
It's the roughing the passer game.
How do you remember that?
The 7-9 Browns are at the 8-8 Steelers.
Steelers by 2.5.
2.5. Another Patriots game. They need Cleveland to win, and I haven't really seen much of Cleveland in the last couple of weeks, but I'm going to take Cleveland on the road.
It feels gross having to root for Deshaun Watson. I hate that, but I think the Steelers. I think they take care of business. I think Kenny Pickett's been playing okay. I'm not going to say he's been playing great, but I think he's been playing okay.
But no Mac or anything like that.
Not even close.
He doesn't make those. He doesn't make those plus throws. He doesn't make those plus throws.
He
big time throws.
He does have some mobility though that I've been a little bit
he does.
surprised.
He did
about.
something last week that Mac's never done. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, he does have a little bit of mobility. I think I'm going to take the Steelers. They just. I don't know. Tomlin just gets them to 500 every year. I don't understand it.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Like every year you think this, there's no way. There's no way this year. No way this year. And then he does it again. I think they win this game. I think Pittsburgh wins it.
That's your pick.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. I think Steelers win this game. I counted them out as dead at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, me too. I think they stink. I still think they stink.
I thought this was going to be a lost season for them. Like, who cares? You know, but they've turned it around.
Yeah.
You know, so I'll take the Steelers to win this game. Now we skip over the Patriots at 1:00, and we move to the no 4:05 games. So they want to make sure that everyone's finished before they start playing the late games.
Before they ensure that Aaron Rodgers makes the playoffs.
Right. So 4:25. We start with the 9-6-1 Giants against the 13-3 Eagles, and I think Hurts is going to play.
Eagles by 14.
Yikes!
And that would signify he is going to play.
That's a huge.
Would that?
number.
Does
I
that
think
also
it signifies
signify
who's not going to
Giants
play for the Giants.
are going to sit people.
Right. They're playing next week, no matter what.
I'll take Philly, but give me those. That's a lot of points. I don't know. I'll just give me the points.
I'll take Philly as well, and I'm going to do the same thing. I find it interesting though that the Eagles. Not that it's going to matter for them, but Gardner Minshew being Jalen Hurts' backup is like, I don't know, like Tyler Huntley being Lamar's backup makes a little bit of sense. But their offense is falling apart because Gardner Minshew can't do any of the things that Jalen Hurts can do, even at like a poor man's level. So
yeah, I agree. They're stylistically not close, but they did score 34 points in his first start. Last week they did nothing.
Yeah.
Last week they were utterly inept. I'm going to take Philadelphia both ways. I think that they do everything they can to lock up that number 1 seed.
Yeah, the Sharps are telling you to go with the number here, so Eagles cover. 4:25, the 12-4 Cowboys are at the 7-8-1 Commanders.
Dallas by 7. Ron Rivera still unsure if they're alive for the playoffs.
I think Sam Howell starting this game.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Quarterback roulette.
Oh boy. I'm gonna take Dallas, but you know what? I'm gonna take those points on the road and see if it's a close one.
Yeah, I think I could do this. Dallas has just played a bunch of close games for no reason lately.
Yeah, right?
I feel like they just haven't really been able to pull away from teams. So I'll have to do the same thing.
I will take them to pull away from Sam Howell.
That's fair.
Dallas both ways.
My instinct says take the points, so I will. Cowboys win, but they do not cover.
And I could definitely see like a Sam Howell start and him getting knocked out like in the middle of the second quarter, and here comes that Heineke running around. And
you can't kill him.
Throwing picks, and scoring touchdowns.
4:25. The 10-6 Chargers are at the 4-12 Broncos playing their 10th home game this year.
Mike, what do you have for a number on that?
Chargers by 2.5.
Chargers by 2.5.
Yeah.
Okay. Chargers by 2.5. I have it down here as Denver by 2.5, and it just seems wrong to me.
It does.
ESPN says Denver by 1.5.
Okay, then Denver by 2.5. I didn't make a mistake. If that's the same thing that I looked at this morning.
So wait, Denver's favored by 2.5?
1.5 on ESPN.
You know what? I'm going to go by a weird. I'm going to take Denver. I know it's strange, but I'm going to take them. I think that weird Charger thing.
They're not trying to be Johnny Know-It-all, but I think a lot of these spreads are telling you the playoff teams are not playing their players.
Right.
Yeah.
They get this kind of information. We're not.
They're in the Chargers.
I haven't been on the Chargers, injury report all week, but whatever.
Yeah.
If Justin Herbert's not playing, I can understand why the Broncos are favored.
Right. I don't know why Justin Herbert would play in this game. I mean, they got nothing to win.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm still gonna go with the Chargers though, because I just think Denver is an absolute dumpster right now, and I think that. I don't know. There's something really wrong in Denver, and now the players are trying to come out and defend Russell Wilson on social media and stuff like that. It's a mess.
I'm going to take the Chargers too.
I was just going to say real quick from Rap Sheet. I just thought this was interesting. Per doctors, Damar Hamlin was able to follow directions and even ask who won the game last night.
Oh,
yeah,
no.
like they're showing the doctors. I don't know if this is live.
Yeah. UC help.
Who won the game? Like, bro, you got no idea what has been going on.
I feel terrible that now he's going to find out that they had to.
He's going to be
they
pissed.
stopped the game for
I
him.
think it's great. I mean, I think that the fact that these are the kinds of
Yeah.
things that you wanted to hear,
Yeah,
right? This
yeah.
is what we were talking
Right.
about all week. You
Totally.
know,
Makes you feel
some signs that we can say, okay, it was horrible, but there's going to be a light at the end of the tunnel.
That's great.
And you got $6 million now.
That's great.
Well, that's what Fred said. And, you know, we're gonna win this
So-
for you, and we're gonna have
so
$10 million in your charity.
No, but in all seriousness, if there's any doubt in a player's mind that he wanted them to play, his first question is who won?
Yeah.
Of course he did.
Yeah.
You know?
It's like my favorite moment in Rocky 2 when Adrian finally wakes up out of the coma.
Right.
And she says, I just want one thing.
So
did he just
Win!
compare this to Rocky?
So
too?
it's funny that you said that.
Perfectly.
I mean, it's completely inappropriate.
Life imitates art.
But when they had the news about Hamlin this morning, as I'm driving in, the first thing I thought about was a GIF of Mickey.
What
And
are we waiting for?
Take us like that. I wanted to, like
Father Carmine.
Okay, here we go. Like, let's get to training.
You say a prayer for me, Father Carmine.
You know, if I get busted up tonight, it won't be too bad. Okay, I'm like so late, Father. Thank you for that, Father.
So late.
Chargers.
Chargers win, but they don't cover. I'll take the points.
All right. Well, Denver's favored.
We're having fun.
Yeah. Oh, Denver's favored.
So if the Chargers win, they cover. Denver's favored by 2.5.
Ah, damn it.
I know I was confusing with that because I was unsure if I had it right. Denver by 2.5. Why, damn it? If you think the Chargers are going to win, pick the Chargers.
All right. Chargers win. 425. The 5-11 Rams are at the 8-8 Seahawks.
Seahawks by 6.5.
Hawks need it.
They need it. I'm going to take the Hawks. I think they get it. I'll lay the points.
So which one is this? The NFC West. One of them owns one of them, and this is.
I'm not sure about this one, but I'm not sure this one qualifies.
Okay, so this one's not.
I think it's the Rams own the Cardinals, the Niners own the Rams, and I'm not sure how much the other ones.
Okay, all right.
Get involved.
So I'll just
in
pick
that.
it straight up then, and I'm going to take the Seahawks as well.
I'm going to take Seattle. They have something to play for, and they will find a way at home, and I'll lay the points.
I will take Seattle as well. 425 Sunday, the 4-12 Cardinals are at the 12-4 49ers.
The Niners by 14. The Niners do have something to play for, because if the Eagles lose, the Niners can be the number 1 seed.
Oh boy. I'm going to take the 49ers, and I think they win big. I'm going to lay the points.
I'm going to take the 49ers as well. And then when we wake up Monday morning, does Cliff Kingsbury still have a job?
Yeah, I know. Everybody thinks he's completely gone, and I just can't imagine that Bidwell eats that money.
So it is a lot of money. But if Cliff
And
Kingsbury's
he just
gone,
signed him.
then the team that drafted him needs an offensive coordinator.
But you've been telling me, young Evan, all season long how uninspired the Cardinals' offense is.
It is
under
true.
Cliff Kingsbury.
I know.
See,
but
this is
it's
what I'm
just
here
the
for. I'm
it's
just
the
here to
shiny
keep
new
everybody
toy,
honest.
Paul. It's the shiny
because
new
I like,
toy.
and Fred will tell you this, I like to know opinions on people before, not after they're Patriots.
Oh, you know if they hire him, I'm going to tell you he's the greatest thing ever.
I know, because that's what we do around here. So all year you told me,
Okay.
he's no good.
Okay, but to be fair.
But with Mac Jones, he's not
Yeah,
saddled with
but
Kyler
don't you
Murray.
think- don't you
no
think-
longer
RPOs.
saddled with Kyler Murray. With Mac Jones.
Yeah, at least Mac
watch
Jones
out.
At least
hey,
Mac Jones can see over
good
the line
luck,
of scrimmage,
AFC East.
okay?
Good luck.
But if he's gone from the Cardinals, don't you think the more attractive option for him is to take over a college program?
Yeah, but that time of year is kind of past, though, right?
Why would you no? What if he wants to be an NFL coach?
But he's going to be a head coach in a college program, and it'd probably be a good.
Well, what do you? But what do you want?
What do I want?
Does he want to be an NFL head coach?
No, he
again?
wants to make a lot of money and be in charge.
Does he want to be an NFL head coach again?
He can be down the road.
No, but I think that's a big part of the equation.
Yeah, but I
think the better road is Evans' road.
Yeah,
if you want to be an NFL head coach,
Come here, fix Mac
Go
Jones.
fix somebody's offense, and then you become a hot commodity again.
Yeah, but you make a lot more money and be in total control in college.
Okay, one other thing I'll say about the Cardinals, a lot of the reports coming out of Arizona is that more than likely DeAndre Hopkins is definitely going to be out in Arizona because they're not thinking that Kyler's going to be ready to even play at all next year. So next year is kind of a lost year. He's got 2 years left on his contract. We saw Bill with him on NFL Films or whatever, the Hard Knocks or whatever that was, going goo goo gaga.
I've been on that. I'd rather have T. Higgins, but I've been on it. Only because of age. Not because of Hopkins.
He's getting up there.
No,
Hopkins is a better player.
You're right in the wheelhouse. That first contract, boom.
But yeah, I've heard your boy. I've heard Alex talk about
D-Hop.
DeAndre Hopkins.
Can't have Bill O'Brien and D-Hop, though.
I pick San Francisco
Me
both
too.
ways.
49ers. 8:20 Sunday night. 8-8 Lions against the 8-8 Packers.
Pack by 4.5.
Easy pick for me. Go, Pack, go. Green Bay Packers, I will lay the points.
I'm taking the Packers. I'm taking them to win big. I've been liking the Packers. I've been liking what I've seen. They're looking more and more like the team that they were last year towards the end here. I think it took Rodgers a month or two to get on the same page with some of those receivers. And I love Christian Watson. That guy's awesome.
I like Watson, too. I think the Packers win this game big. Absolutely. Never will I be rooting for a different team more than my pick than I will Sunday night.
Folks,
Lions.
This is your upset of the week. Lions win outright.
I think I just would that be so beautiful?
Yep, Lions win the game.
Not a Rodgers guy.
No, I love
an insufferable boob.
He doesn't like him. I like him.
And the good news is they're rounding into their last year's form, which means they'll lose next week.
I like talent. You know.
Well, I mean, he's without question the most talented quarterback in football over the last 20 years. To me, there's not even an argument.
Mahomes.
He's more talented than Mahomes. Mahomes is more has the ability to play schoolyard than anybody. But just in terms of watching a guy throw a ball.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't mean to go all Bill on you.
No, it's okay.
He's so good.
He's like, I mean, I don't know how we held him down. I mean, I don't know how we held them to their season highest point total of the whole year. I don't know how we did that.
Just so good.
I mean, he's just
too many plays.
So good.
All right.
I don't mean to sound like Bill or anything, but his skill set is the best, I think.
Now we go back to 1 o'clock.
Sorry.
Yeah, thank you. The 8-8 Patriots are.
It's a little early. I wasn't ready for that.
Are at the 12-3 Bills.
All right, so this spread is dropping
precipitously,
big time, based on the Damar Hamlin aftermath, in my opinion. It was as high as 9, I believe, on Sunday. It was 8.5. It's down to 7. Buffalo by 7.
I think Buffalo's going to win. I just think they have too much, and the Patriots haven't really been able to solve them. I do think the Patriots. You know what? I'm going to take the Bills to win, but I'm going to take the Patriots with the points. I just think the Patriots keep it close. I don't know if they get into the 30s, but I'm going to say Bills 27, Patriots 24.
What was that number again?
7. Why? What do you have?
It's not my turn.
No, what do you have for a number?
I don't have a number.
Oh.
I think he's just moaning at the spread.
I know.
I wish I could take the Patriots in this game.
You can.
I just can't. I can't.
But you can. You're allowed.
I can't see a formula, and it's not even necessarily about Josh Allen versus the Patriots defense. I think I'm more caught up on the Patriots offense actually moving the ball against the Bills, which has been as much of a problem that I feel like goes under the radar because they didn't force Josh Allen to punt and stuff. They can't move the ball on the Bills defense either. So I just think that the Bills end up winning this game something like 27-17, and the Patriots offense just can't score enough points to keep up.
Yeah, I think we all see a kind of a similar game. I do have pause, and that number dropped, and I think it's dropping because there's people thinking like I'm thinking. I think it's much more difficult to get ready to play if you're Buffalo than any of the other 31 teams. And I think that's going to have an impact. I think that will hurt their preparation this week. I don't think they've thought one bit about a game plan maybe until today. So I mean,
Today was the first day they practiced.
It's fortunate for them. It's a division opponent that they just saw.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's like the end of the world, but I do think Buffalo is just significantly more talented than the Patriots across the board. I'm going to go 27-13.
Yeah. I'm with Evan. I wish I could pick the Patriots.
You're allowed to.
I
Evan
know.
was allowed. You're allowed.
I know I'm
Be a big
allowed,
boy.
but you know
what you said. You're a big boy.
You know, don't tell me that I always pick the Patriots.
I don't say that.
Yes, you do.
I haven't said that this year. I can give you a lot of examples of you picking against the Patriots.
And I can't pick them, but I'll take the points. 28-23. That's the score. 28-23.
That's what's going to be.
It's like a dramatic pause there.
Well, I had to make sure that I was within the spread.
I knew. I could feel like the hamster wheel was turning.
Yeah. All right. So that's it, right? There's no Monday night game because it's the last week of the season.
No, and I wonder if, like the kind of multiple reports about that Cincinnati-Buffalo game, no contest, or like the eighth, the eighth team
they're
added.
floating stuff to see what sticks.
Yeah. That's where I was going.
Getting things out there.
And I just think, doesn't it make a little more sense to like put a decision off until you have to make a decision?
I think that's what they're doing. Yeah.
Like, wait to see what happens. Maybe you get lucky. Buffalo wins, Kansas City and Cincinnati lose.
Yeah.
Man, it's unlikely. I get it. But if that happens, then that game truly is irrelevant.
Yep.
Perfect.
But either way, we're playing Sunday at 1. It was uncertain up until today, in my opinion, but now we know.
Seems like it, yep.
Yep. So, and good news with Damar Hamlin. We're watching on TV right now. The doctors from the UC Health Medical Center are talking, and,
Yeah, saying he still has a ways to go, but he's, communicating, and, they're still hopeful he's going to, resume his life as it was before the incident.
I love that he asked who won the game.
Did you hear what their response was?
What?
They told him that you won because
you're here.
You're here.
That's awesome.
You won the game of life.
That's awesome.
That's really good. All right.
Even the curmudgeon.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's really
His
good.
Grinch heart is beginning to grow.
John Rook in the Playbook is up next.
Correct.
Pre-game social, 10:45.
And catch me over on the Sports Hub on one of my shows.
Oh, yeah. Paul will be later.
8 minutes.
Filling in for Ted Johnson. 10:45 social, game, post-game show. We'll see you next Tuesday.
Thank you for downloading this podcast. Subscribe on Apple, Google Play, and everywhere else you listen. Like the show? Please rate and review us. Listener comments and ratings help keep us high in the podcast rankings so new listeners can find us. Be sure to check Patriots.com for more news and more podcasts.
The world's original podcast.